terror, horror, death, film at 11. To Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode number 42. I am Dave Z. I am here with the two coolest dudes I know, the two best people on Horrorphilia. I love these fucking guys. Love them. I'm gonna
Mr. Watson's
them.
Here. Jason Moore. Jason,
listen,
you here?
It's positive vibes because we did the awesome show with 22 shots and had a blast, and we love them guys, and that's like our brother show, and they're our fucking homies and everything else. And last night I recorded with Kill the Cast. I recorded with Jerry and I recorded with Kenneth, and it was a great time. But as soon as I sit down and I see your guys' smiling faces, I'm just like, I'm so fucking happy to be home in the Exploding Headquarters. So I can't contain myself. You guys are the best.
It's a bro moment.
It is a bro moment. Christian, Mr. Christian. I'm not going to sing, don't worry. The new king of Horrorphilia, the guy who has 4 shows in the top 10, so he cannot talk any shit about me ever again. What's up?
Oh, I'm doing well. I had 4?
You had 4. 2 Exploding Heads, TGIF 13, and you were on Slice and Dice Treadcast.
Oh, yes, Slice and Dice, man. Shout out to them. That was a great show. I stole it from Brandon, but at least they made it in the top 10 with me.
They would have made it in the top 5 with me.
Oh, shit.
Well, put your money where your mouth is. Be on the show, and we'll see what happens.
Am I putting where my mouth is?
Money.
Okay.
And what is up, B-Dog?
Yo, what's up? My 2 best friends.
Yeah.
I love it.
Lick my muffin over here. Mr. Ben Bummer.
Thank you. See, I was going to introduce you as Mr. Ben Bummer, and I said B-Dog instead. So, Brandon, let's talk about, you got a new show coming.
I do.
Because you want to have 4 on the fucking, on the top 10. So go ahead.
You know what? It's never about the ratings. It's about putting out quality content, and the ratings take care of themselves. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. You're right.
You're so full of shit. No, this is the brainchild of Derek B. of 22 Shots. He was on, I believe, 11 episodes as a guest host, and for a while it looked like 10. It was going to be 10?
10 out of 10 Derek, so yeah, 10 episodes.
Oh, yeah, 10 out of 10 Derek. And he came up with the idea for Cinema Attack, basically a podcast where we're going to cover anything and everything cinema. So we do have horror shows planned, but we're going to be doing multiple genres, multiple retrospectives, a lot of stuff that I wouldn't normally watch. We discussed about covering, and I'm excited about that because I wouldn't normally sit down and watch shitty shark films, but yet we have a shark show planned.
Shark show?
Shark show.
Is it Jump the Shark?
Jump the Shark, yeah.
Their first show.
The first episode jumps the shark. I didn't answer the question yet because I was away. Those icons, like what icons did you first grow up with, and what influenced you as a kid? And someone did put Rocky and Rambo, I think, on there, and those are definitely 2. But I'd have to say Han Solo and Indiana Jones. That's how it worked.
What the hell are we talking about?
Your Cinema Attack thing. It's your fucking show.
A question?
No, not me.
Even this guy doesn't fucking know.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Dude, check it out. All of a sudden, I'm in this group. They got their group page going. All of a sudden, I didn't see a question asked either, Brandon. So all of a sudden, everybody's answering this question, talking about icons and putting up pictures, and I'm like, what the fuck are these people doing? Who asked them a question? I don't understand. What did I miss here?
Yeah,
so
I didn't even answer the question. I didn't even know there was this question.
Derek, put it out there for everybody. It's your fucking show. How do you not know?
Sorry, Derek. Great. Now I look like an asshole.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to go on record and say this is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. You should not do another show. Christian should not do another show. Well, TGIF 13 he was doing before he came here.
Christian shouldn't be doing this show. No, you know what? When I spoke to Derek about it, and Charlene from France,
Charlene.
She's
Bonjour.
her debut podcasting, and she's very excited as well. And we've had multiple Skype sessions already. We all get along. We're all like best buds. So
nice.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But we talked about how we want to do the show, and I came straight out from the beginning and said, I would like to keep it more of a shorter format. Came straight out. Keep it at like a 90-minute runtime for most shows, maybe 2 hours for our bigger shows where we cover more than 2 movies. Say
2 shark movies.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, you're gonna cover 2? I thought you were just gonna do 1 movie per episode.
No. We have 1 movie episodes, 2 and 3 movie episodes.
Oh boy, like us.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, but our first episode actually records this week. We're recording right now. It's Monday, and we record on Friday our first episode, which is Picnic at Hanging Rock.
I saw that posted. Yes. I predict that episode will never come out. I'm kidding. No, man, I wish you guys all the luck. I'm looking forward to it, but I can't believe you don't even know the icon question that was posted on your own page.
Well, it wasn't done right. Because I didn't know about it. Why wasn't it like a regular thread? Why didn't Derek say, or whoever put it up, my icon is this, what is yours? And wouldn't the answers be in that particular thread? Why is everybody doing it that other way, where they're just putting up a picture randomly and saying, hey, I like this person?
I thought I stroked out, to be honest, because I was talking about the show, and then all of a sudden Christian starts blowing Han Solo. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Did I stroke out?
And then Luke. Yeah.
And Luke.
Oh, shit.
I think you're both fucked up. I think it was actually presented the exact way any other question on Facebook
I'm
presented.
sure it was presented perfectly.
What? Well, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I'm happy for you guys. It's wonderful.
We're gonna have fun with it. I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to Charlene. Shout out to James Caux, who helped design some of our artwork, which is fantastic. Love the artwork, and we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have a good time.
Oh, there you go. Is that gonna be your theme song?
It should be.
Yeah.
It should. I'm so happy you're doing Picnic at Hanging Rock, because that means we don't have to do it now, Christian.
I was thinking about donating $48 to our own Patreon, so we have to do it.
My wife is going to donate to our Patreon. She says she can force me to watch. But I'm thinking, my wife doesn't even listen to the show. What? Why does she want to fucking donate to Patreon so I review The Exorcist trilogy or something? Are you going to listen to it, honey? Are you listening to this now? I say no. Anyway, whatever. I just when you said donate to the Patreon, I started thinking about that. I'm like, what the hell?
That's
Whatever.
grounds for divorce. Does she tell her who cares if she listens? Just download it.
Oh, you're right. I got to make sure she at least downloads it. Yeah. By the way, you're right, guys. As long as we're talking about the top 10 and pardon me, and Christian having 4 shows in it and us being there, we would please, guys. Please subscribe. If you're listening now on iTunes or you're listening on Stitcher or whatever, just go and click the subscribe button. And I'll tell you why. Because it's an automatic download. And even if you don't listen to it right away, or even if you get to it later on, it still counts as a download for our show. The more downloads we get, the more notice we're going to get on iTunes. So just hit the damn subscribe button, please. We're not asking for much. Now, the reason it's such a big deal is because of we want to beat the Blitz. And I think you guys know what I'm saying. We finished 3rd place in the top 10.
However, my ego tank can't take it.
Well, however, I can't either. That's why I'm doing something here. It's because of the Blitz. Because, when guys are on the Blitz, not to take away from the shows, but the top 2 shows are featured on everybody's. Anyone that's on Horrorphilia, it's on all their feeds.
It's a good promo. All joking aside, it's a good promo. But my ego can't take it.
It's great, but I want us to beat the Blitz. I want us to have so many downloads that even if the Blitz comes on, we still surpass them. Then
I always enjoyed being at the bottom.
Yeah, I know. You're Ben Bummer.
Smiling ear to ear.
Christian. What about Tom Savini and TCM too? And the
I was gonna post on our page today about the plate in the fucking head. I swear I wasn't stroking out that episode. I read it. I just don't know where my Ground Illusions book is. And the downfall is I had a PDF copy of it on my other computer. So I implore anybody out there, if you have the PDF version, if you have the hard copy version of Grand Illusions, flip through it and confirm. There's a sentence in there that said the guy had that guy, he doesn't even call him by his name. Yeah, but he doesn't call him by his name, had a real plate in his head. I swear. It was in that book.
Maybe it was a paper plate.
Yeah. You cracked the same joke the other episode.
Did I? Yes, you know. I didn't say paper plate.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Oh, what an
And then
asshole.
I said, lick my plate. Yes.
Lick my plate, you dog dick.
Dog dick.
Give me 5, Leatherface.
Speaking of Leatherface.
Dog will hunt. Sorry.
Dog will hunt.
Such a quotable movie.
Oh, absolutely. But Leatherface. You guys see that it's coming straight to fucking VOD now.
Yeah, I'm a little upset about that, considering it's directed by the people that directed one of the movies we're watching tonight, or talking about tonight. And I liked the preview. I know you're a no preview watching, Dave.
Loved it.
Everybody's like, oh, the preview looks like shit. I'm like, it looks like every other, like, it looked great. I mean, I don't want to say it looked like every other one because it had elements of the other ones, but I mean, come on, we're coming off of Texas 3D, which is one of the worst. Other than Next Generation, in my opinion. And I love all the other ones. So I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know if it comes direct, it comes direct. I think they missed an opportunity for Halloween time to release it. But, oh well. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but Jigsaw's coming.
And Jigsaw, too. He's coming, too.
That preview looked good, too, man. I'm not going to lie. I thought that looked good, too.
It. I was excited.
I hope they're great movies. But the Leatherface thing, so you guys actually give a shit. You Christian... You care.
Man. I care.
It's not, no. You care that it's not coming to theaters. Like the whole thing about it coming to VOD. Me, I'm happy it's coming to VOD, and I wish more people would follow suit. Curse of Chucky did. It was successful. The next Chucky movie is. Imagine if one of these Friday the 13th movies, or all this thing, how about that other one, that Amityville movie that's just out there in space and not being released? Why can't these people just suck it up and just do what Leatherface did and just release?
I know what you're saying. I hear you, and I think I can agree with you in time. The problem with the direct-to-DVD or VOD and that avenue is that it reminds me of direct-to-video back in the day. I know it's not the same thing, but that's what I think. So when people see that, we're all comments saying? People are going, oh, this can't be good. Oh, it's going to be a piece of shit because it's going direct to VOD. And unfortunately, I'm falling in that camp and thinking, like, I'm going out thinking it looks great, but why is it going direct to VOD?
Okay, how about this? Look at your top 10 from 2016. How many of those did you go in the theater and see?
True. No, you got me, yeah. I saw The Witch. I saw...
It came limited, yes. But the times have changed. That's all. That's the point I'm making. Even look at 2015. It's not a death sentence anymore. So why not just suck it up and release? Look at Amityville and how these people just keep pushing it and delaying it and doing this and doing it. Take this fucking movie and just drop it on VOD like Leatherface. I don't know what the stigma is.
I would actually prefer, though, if it did have at least a limited run theaters. Yeah. I would like the experience of watching it in theaters, but I'm not. I agree with Christian, like, in the sense of wanting to see it in theaters, but it doesn't affect me in terms of people's perception of the film. It's not going to do as well as if it came out in theaters. There's no doubt about that. But because a lot of people won't know.
Yeah, but most people don't.
A lot of casual people. Oh, what's playing in the theater? There's a Leatherface movie. Let's go see it.
Tell you, marketing. No, it wouldn't have, because marketing missed a golden opportunity to play off the buzz, no pun intended, of Saw or now Jigsaw, and they could have easily said the original Saw is back. And
Ah.
we talked about this in another episode.
That's
right?
good. That's really good.
When it was called Saw Legacy, and I said that they should have come up with the tagline Chainsaw Legacy as the tagline for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I mentioned this way back when, but now that it's becoming a reality that both these movies are coming out in October, that, they missed a golden opportunity there. Just like Friday the 13th missed a golden opportunity of a Friday the 13th in October.
Yep.
And, oh, fuck. It just made, it was liquid gold.
Man,
fucking rings. I'm bringing rings back.
Fuck rings. We knew that was going to suck. We knew it was going to suck before it even came out. And you know what? Because of a catchphrase, I'll agree with you. All those good Saw coming out around the same time as Jigsaw would have been cool. They could have even called it you know what they could have done also on the episode? They could have said the jig is up. This is the Saw, right? That'd be cool.
Yeah, mine was better, but no.
Yeah, but I had something.
No, that was good. You combine them. It was, but they missed a golden opportunity. So I think they could have gotten a 1-2 week run at October. Don't release it in August like the last few Halloweens were released. Release it in October, and you've got a built-in market right there. Saw's going to do well. Saw's going to. I don't know if it's
Saw always does well.
It does.
It does.
Just like Paranormal Activity. It does. They always do well. They always turn a profit. Yeah. And if it's October, people are going to go to the show and see it, But I don't know. I just don't see it being a death sentence the way it once was. And I think I'm excited to see it now because it's coming to VOD. It's like, you know what? Good. I don't really want to spend the money to see it in a theater. I'm not that excited about it. Just like Jigsaw. I'm not that excited about it. It's just, I don't know. Friday the 13th, yes, I'd like to see that in the theater. But these movies, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm not overexcited about the those
I'm excited about that other one too, the one that looks like a total ripoff. What was it called? Like Leatherface Jr.? The one that was the trailer came out a few weeks ago as well, and it actually looks like a Leatherface character in it. And of course they're actually marketing their low budget movie off of the fact that people are expecting the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie to come out. And they, what is the name of it? Like Saw on the Hill.
Leatherface. It's just called Leatherface.
It's called Leatherface. It's called Leatherface as well?
It's just called Leatherface.
Well,
yes.
There's two Leatherface movies coming out is what you're telling me.
Yeah, well, see, here's the deal. The Leatherface, the one that's part of the actual franchise, that was not called Leatherface. We didn't know what it was going to be called. Or maybe it was a Leatherface : something. Either way, we didn't know.
Colon.
Yes.
That's a real shit title.
Resurrect them. Yes, some shit like that. But they didn't know what they was going to be called. But this other movie was released, I think, to straight to DVD like a few months ago, and it's just called Leatherface.
No, it's not though. They changed the name. They changed the name, but originally it was called Leatherface. You're right, but they've changed the name since. It was posted to our page. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called now. But that actually didn't look all that bad either.
Are you serious?
I'll check it out. Hey,
whatever.
Why the fuck
right.
not?
It'd be funny if he wears an actual leather face.
Oh yeah, like leather, like he kills a horse.
And he's like, fuck, this fucking mask don't breathe. This leather.
Like it's Dice. He wears like a fucking black leather jacket.
Leather.
Hey!
I can't kill anyone. I can't
like
see
it's
anyone.
Dice. It's Dice wearing a black leather jacket on his face.
It's funny that we're talking about this when we're going to be covering a movie that has sort of a similar approach to how they marketed their film.
Well, why are we being so cryptic about the movies?
I don't know why I'm being cryptic about it.
Brandon loves it.
I do that. Like you guys don't even know what the movie is.
I know. I'm trying to think.
What are we doing tonight? I don't even know.
No, well, Piranha tried to cash in on Jaws 2.
Jaws 2 or
Jaws 2?
Well,
no,
both.
it was an homage to Jaws, but it tried to cash in on Jaws 2 because it came out like right around the time Jaws 2 did, 3 years after Jaws.
And why are we doing Piranha? Let's get right to it. Why are we doing Piranha tonight? Spill the beans.
Well, Jerry was, and we mentioned it before, Kill the Cast. He was the first person, not the first Patreon person at all. The first person actually was Joey Infante, and we said that before. And then Jerry came in, and he put in a tier 2 where he can choose a RRR. And he chose Piranha. He knew that I never saw it. I don't know if he knew about you guys have seen it or not, whatever. So it's Piranha. So anyway, this is a very busy time of year. Christian's traveling. The circus is at an all-time high. Fucking out of control. Summertime is very busy. The elephants are sweating. Their balls are fucking disgusting.
Ripe.
You know? Right. Yeah, ripe. Yeah. Brandon, stop drooling. And very, very busy. So, so we didn't have a lot of time to watch movies. Well, Christian in particular. So we decided, you know what? Jerry was our first, our first RRR Patreon tier 2 person. So let's kill two birds with one stone. Let's make Piranha not a RRR. Let's make it a feature review, and we're gonna do old school. We're gonna do like we used to do. We haven't done it in a while. We're gonna do an old movie with a new movie. So we're gonna go back to that for a little bit because that's how we do shit. We bob and weave. We change our format. We dance around. It's fun. So
you see how excited Brandon got when he bob and weave? I don't want to. I'm going to do a little side note again, just so that we don't leave it in limbo. So it was dropped as Leatherface, the ripoff movie. It was dropped as Leatherface in the UK, but it was originally called Playing with Dolls Bloodlust.
Oh, so it's a sequel to the Playing with Dolls films.
Yeah, and
okay.
And it was literally, it was marketed as ripoff Leatherface because I guess horror fans knew that Leatherface was coming in 2017. So I don't know how they fucking got the rights to use the name Leatherface, but they did, and they retitled it Leatherface and dropped it in the UK. Figured those Brits wouldn't know what the fuck hit them.
Yeah, hey.
That was interesting.
This fucking guy. So bottom line, hey, let's just Patreon. Nice. Thank you, everybody.
Paid off.
Fantastic.
We're doing a movie right from it tonight.
Right. Yeah, we bumped it up. We bumped up a tier 2 to a tier 3 pick. You know what I mean? So, hey, we can do that. Why not give people extra rewards? Because...
And by talking about Jerry, we bumped up a tier 2 podcast.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe we should talk about... First of all, guys, there's ways you can support us. One of them is Horror Pack. Go to horrorpack.com/go/exploding heads. Subscribe. You can pick 4 DVDs or you can pick 4 Blu-rays, and you get $3 off your first month there. So you can do that, and that's going to put a couple bucks in our pocket. Or you can subscribe to our Patreon. We have 5 or 6 or something different tiers, different costs. It's a monthly donation, and it's www.patreon.com/explodingheads. So we have had a lot of people do. We now have 10. Now, there was a time when I said when we get 10, we're going to do a drawing with them. But we decided everyone that's in the Patreon, they're going to be in there anyway. It's not. We're going to have a drawing later because between Patreon and around the world and United States and everything, we're lumping it into one big thing. So theoretically, you could be on there twice. If you're a Patreon and if you left us a written review, you have 2 shots to win when we do the drawing. And
is that what we're going to do? You're going to add them twice?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, that's cool.
I want to do everything we can for the Patreon people.
Yeah, well, I was also going to announce, and I guess now is a good time, that for episode 45, which will be our proto-slasher show, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the patrons of the Patreon.
Nice.
Patrons of Patreon?
Patrons of Patreon. Patrons of Patreon.
They need a nickname.
POP.
Exploding patrons. Exploding
Pop. Head pops? Head pops? Pop heads? I don't know.
Head pats. Head pap smears.
Head pap smears.
Hall of Headites? I don't know. Something. But anyway, those guys, let's get into it because we have...
Take the last patron to Clarksville.
The last patron to Clarksville? I'm not even acknowledging it. I'm not.
Thank God for editing.
Thank God. Christian's worse than I
am. Let's talk about our people because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have like 7 or 8 new ones since because we have 10 now. I think we had 2 right off the bat, maybe 3. Either way, we have to talk about these people. Thank you all very much. There's so much going on with it. Jonathan Watkins, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Johnny Wad.
Now,
God.
Now we have that is good. Then we have 4 in a row that are Level 3. That means they can pick a feature review.
Tier 3?
Yeah, tier 3.
Tier
Like
3
us.
Patreon supporters.
They're tier 3. They are. They are tiers. Yes. So we have movies to cover as a result. Now, Christine Stroh, I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing it correct, Strough. We don't know what she wants to do. She has the option to choose a feature review or crack wise, which means come on the show with us for a little segment. We would love to see that happen. Everyone's picking the movie, and that's fine. But to have somebody crack wise, hang out with us for a little bit, talk, shoot the shit, that would be fun. So, Christine, get back to us, please. Then we have Marco V, our homie, and he chose Pieces of Talent. So,
Nice.
we're going to review Pieces of Talent.
I haven't seen it, and I think it's on Shudder.
This will be Christian's first foray into the word talent.
Oh, he's so funny.
I'm going down the line. Marco V, Pieces of Talent. That was in my top 5 from 2000, whatever year it was, 14
Yeah,
or
that's
13.
a great film. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. So that's going to be done. And then Jason Luxton, Tier 2, has chosen, Tier 3, pardon me, has chosen Don't Look Now as a feature review.
Good call, Jason. And thank you.
I've never seen it.
I think we talked about it on the show, and you mentioned that.
Now we're being forward. That's fine. Get on the Patreon. You can tell us what to watch. And that's great.
Bend over.
Ben Bummer's coming.
Nice.
Ben Bummer is Ben Dover's cousin.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
Gosh.
these are Tier 5 jokes, people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, these are bad.
All
I
right.
didn't write any new ones for the show.
Let's get to Tier 3 people here. Patreons. Corey Walter would like us to watch The Wailing. So
Nice.
Cool.
Wonderful, because I said I want to watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, smart choice, because that movie's like, it's fucking, I think he intentionally picked the longest movie he could think of that was a horror movie. So, he's like, wow.
I think we had talked about that this film would have made a great feature review. Jeez, I forgot the word feature for a second.
That's okay.
And
wow.
it will.
And it will. So we're going to do that. And then we have 2 Tier 2 people. Derek B is one of them. And he's going to choose a triple R for us. He said he wants us to watch Frat House Massacre. So we could do that anytime at our leisure because it's triple R. You know what I mean? So it's not married to any particular show, but very soon, of course. And
Thanks, Derek.
yes, thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
yes, and
DB.
Dustin Baker also is a Tier 2, so he can choose a triple R. We haven't heard back from him yet, so we're waiting to. But
Come on.
yeah, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people on the Patreon, and it's a real nice surprise, and we sincerely appreciate everything. So thank you.
Yeah, and I see a lot of
Thanks,
people supporting not only our Patreon, but supporting 22 Shots. And all I got to say to that is save your money and just give whatever you're going to give 22 Shots to us, because I hear they're ending very soon. So no, I'm just kidding.
You're not really, though.
Not really.
Well, we did it first. As always, we set the trends. We're the first Horrorphilia show to launch a Patreon.
Are we?
Ever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then 22 Shots did it, and there's more on the come up. But yeah, as always, we're innovators. That's what we do here.
We're innovators by copying what other podcasts have done on other networks.
Well, true.
I love it. That's what innovating is. Copying something from somebody else.
Hey, man. We do what we got to do. But
Apple does it best.
As far as the Patreon goes, right now there's no bonus content, but we are going to start putting it on there. There's exclusive content on the page. So if you do, if you are any tier from level 1 to 5, whatever it is, as long as you're a Patreon member, you're going to be subject to exclusive content on that page. So we're going to start doing things. I'm going to start posting some videos, written reviews, things like that.
Isn't there a blooper reel on YouTube already? Episode 29C?
Oh.
Nice.
Right. I think it's still the most watched YouTube solocast from our show. My episode. Yeah. It's always a good show after he burns me.
I have to burn you, but it's a great show. I saw an opportunity to make a great joke, but it is a great show.
It's true.
That was Tier 4. You're getting better.
That's what we should do. We should have a blooper reel. We should have content like this that gets cut. Anybody wants it?
This is staying in. What do you mean cut?
Well, not this, but I'm saying shit that somebody wants to hear like an unedited episode, they can hear it. You know, that could be, we're fine tuning. We just started this Patreon, so we didn't know we were going to get 10 people so quickly, so we're happy about that. We're going to do t-shirts soon. We're going to get a new design for a t-shirt that we're going to put out for the members. I want to get some stickers made. I want to get us, so anybody that's on there and anybody that gives us like a written review or whatever, we'll send stickers to them, you know, and more exclusive content. So it's a work in progress. We just started this less than a month ago. And now that we know people are actually, you know, involved with it, it makes us happy and it makes us want to do more. So we're going to. So stay tuned. And thank you again. So tonight, disease, spreading the disease. Christian, you know that song?
Anthrax.
Yes. What's the name of the song?
Isn't it Spreading the Disease?
Nope. With some help from Captain Trips, you'll bring the world down to his knees. Power. Yes, power. Show them all his power. No, still? Among the living.
How did I not catch that now? Fuck.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm fired.
So, yeah. You're fine. You're fine.
You guys want to be alone here?
Yeah. I mean, after fucking 41 episodes, haven't you gotten the hint?
Middle of the show.
Yeah.
This fucking guy.
Middle of the show. Boom. Never to be heard again. Imagine that. Shitty one.
All of a sudden, that one goes to number 1, month over month.
Yeah, we don't go worry about the beating the Blitz anymore. It'll just happen.
Is this the one that Brandon's off? Yeah, I gotta hear that again.
Did somebody say blintz?
Blintz? What is that? Is it a Jewish thing? Blintz?
A blintz, like a stuffed potato blintz.
No, what is that? Is it well,
This guy with the
food.
fucking potatoes.
right? This guy with the I'm gonna potato him in a minute. Jesus.
You're gonna fire
It's a
3 boiled
stuffed
potatoes
crepe.
up your ass.
It's a stuffed crepe, not a potato. It's a crepe.
A
So it's
crepe?
like a crepe.
A crepe.
He hasn't even
Okay.
recorded the first episode with this French chick yet, and he's already crepe.
Right?
It's a crepe.
What's
Crap.
Menage a Twat? You guys should have called the show Menage a Twat.
Perfect.
Oh, no,
Menage a trois. You missed the perfect opportunity. Show's canceled.
right?
New show's canceled.
You don't have the creativity of Exploding Head. You couldn't come. Although
Menage a trois.
I don't know if Charlene
can't-
would want to be on that show.
The funniest part of that is the 3 hosts, none of them menage a twat.
I guess you're right. Because one's a woman, so unless she's gay and we don't know about it, I don't know. And Derek and Brandon, yeah, okay, I'll sign off on that.
Why are you not laughing, Brandon?
I don't find this funny. All these jokes at my expense.
I do.
I know.
They're good stuff. So yeah, we're reviewing 2 movies tonight. Among the Living, brand new. Well, it was recorded. Like I'm talking about a podcast. It was filmed in 2015, I think, but it's officially here in 2017. And Piranha. Okay, I'm gonna shout out 5 podcasts. Then we're gonna break, and then we're gonna go into our first movie. So unless these guys have anything else, but here's my 5 podcasts: Terrible Terror Podcast, Bloody Date Night, Basement Condition, Cinephiles and Cenobites, and Horror Haven. Check those shows out. Tell them Exploding Head sent you. And that's that. We'll be right back. Boom! And we're back. Piranha. What do you got, B?
Piranha, a.k.a. Piranha. 1978, directed by Joe Dante. When flesh-eating piranhas, or piranhas, are accidentally released into a summer resort's rivers, the guests become their next meal. Dun, dun, dun.
Did you guys know, or did you realize that this is rated X?
What?
Look
Rated
at the
R.
B. No, it says X.
There's R on my B.
On IMDb, it said rated. It said certificate X.
You got the Canadian B, though. So hold on a second.
Fuck you with the Canadian B. It's all the same shit.
It says
Oh, is it?
R on our IMDb. I see it R.
I'm gonna
No,
look it up now.
I saw it today. X. So, why does it say R now? I swear to Christ, it's an X. What? Wait, I'm gonna go on Chrome IMDb.
Are you sure it wasn't a big X on Bill Moseley's real plate in his head?
It was no. Oh my god, this is the fucking coolest thing ever. I go on Safari. I type in IMDb. I put in Piranha. It says R because I just saw, as you guys said, I went in Chrome, Google Chrome, put in IMDb, put in Piranha's the movie. It's a certificate X.
What?
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy.
You know why? Because on Google Chrome, I don't know what I had set to, but it shows the release date of November 23rd, 1978, the UK release date, and it's rated X. And my Safari, I guess, is more realistic, and it's in the North American. It's showing the August 3rd, 1978 release date for the US, and it says rated R. But isn't that fucked? My Chrome. I don't know why my Chrome is set up like that.
That's why. It's Bill Moseley's Chrome plate.
Right, Chrome Dome.
It's Chrome Skull.
It's Chrome Dome. It's Bill Moseley.
Have I mentioned this episode? At any point, have I mentioned how much I fucking hate both of you?
Crazy, man.
But it's rated X. It was rated X in the UK for whatever reason, because it's not an X-rated movie by any means.
Is this a video nasty or something?
No,
I didn't think so.
I don't think it was at all. It's so.
Well, I'll tell you what. I enjoyed the movie. My first time. You guys have seen this before.
I'd seen it before, and I watched it twice this time. And
really,
it's a very enjoyable film.
It's a great monster movie, man.
It's extremely quotable, and I could tell, like half of my notes are quotes, and this is the first time I watched it. So for me to see a movie one time and say it's quotable, it's really got to be quotable. You know what I mean? I'm like,
is John Sayles, and he writes good scripts and whatever too. It's funny that you said that because my whole back page is quotes.
See? Yeah. So this is the kind of movie that I could see why Jerry loves it. He's probably seen it a bunch of times, and it's so quotable. It's like the way we were talking about Texas Chainsaw 2 on the 22 Shot Show, how it's endlessly quotable.
Or just like 15 minutes ago.
Or 15 seconds ago talking about Chrome Dome. Right.
Chrome Dome.
He should have been called Chrome Dome. That's better than Chop Top, don't you think?
Chrome Dome.
Yeah, Chop Top sounds like celery or something, or a carrot. That's what I think.
Carrot.
I've actually only seen this movie once before, and there's a couple things. So I watched it once, all the way through again, loved it, and one of the things that I thought was weird, and as I researched it, I had no clue that this was remade as a TV movie in '95 with William Catt. I never knew that. Never seen it.
I never saw it either, but I was researching it as well, and I saw that.
I heard last night when I recorded with Jerry on Kill the Cast, because he loves Piranha, and he was talking. He goes, nobody ever brings up that one from the 90s. Everyone always says the remake, and I always think, hey, is it the 90s or the new one? And nobody knows about the one from the 90s. I'm like, I never heard of it. What do I know?
Either.
Other than Christine, I'm not a big William Catt fan. As my dissertation on House will tell you, he just looks like he's smug, smiling through every fucking movie he's doing. Like, I just don't like him as an actor.
Would you guys go swimming at a random pool you found behind a government fenced off area in the woods?
No.
Of course not. No. Hey, here's what's funny about it. But hold on, I'm not going to glance over Christine. William Catt was not in fucking Christine.
Oh, Carrie.
Okay.
How the
Keith
fuck
Gordon
was
was Christine?
Got it. I was just reveling in the fact that Christian fucked up again.
Yeah, so Christian messed up a lot. Then you might want to just Keith Gordon yourself.
The suicidal dog.
You fucking committed suicide. Brandon, Jason threw him. Jason's in the fucking basement.
Jason.
I love how we combined words. Brandon's Jason.
Jason. I don't know who the hell Jason is.
Jason in the basement. Oh, whew. Okay.
The whole time.
This is what I found funny. They come across this nasty pool, which they call a pond for some reason, but it's a fucking pool. But they keep calling it a pond throughout the movie. Okay, why I don't know, but
I think it's technically a pond because it drains to the river.
Okay, but fair enough. But no, it looks nasty. And the guy says to the girl, or maybe whatever it is, one of them says, "Let's wash off so we won't be so funky."
Yeah, she says that, and he's like, "What if it's a sewer treatment?"
It looks like a sewer tree. It looks like shit. Would you jump in that water?
But the whole
That's
lead up,
clean?
you guys skipped the whole lead up to that where she's like, I don't know if we should go in here. I don't know if we should go in here. She's like, come on. Like, where's your sense of adventure type thing? Then they get in there and she's like, why don't you want to go into the water? What? And then all of a sudden she's telling him, like, I'm like, what the fuck happened here? She didn't want to go into this place. Now she's like, yeah, let's go into this creepy old pool pond.
And our first most quotable line of the film?
A little law breaking would do you good.
No, I said last one in's a rotten egg. I never heard that before.
Really?
I'm kidding.
Oh, holy shit.
Holy fucking Christian's on a fucking roll tonight.
I got him like you got Dave with the Jim K.
You're right.
I'm sorry, Christian. That wasn't designed to make you look stupid. You just happened to do that.
No. The joke was designed to make that like right back down to a tier 5 joke. I was like, really? That's your fucking joke? That's what I was really in.
That's a good save.
What about Dick Miller? Dick Miller's in this movie.
Yeah, not Dick Smith?
Right, or is it Dick Smith, right?
Joe Dante loved Dick Miller, man, and he's awesome in this. And he has the best exchange in the movie, in my opinion, is the piranhas. What about the goddamn piranhas? They're eating the guests, sir. Now, that's a fucking quotable line.
Yeah, there's tons of them. It's a lot of fun. It really is, and it's. But here's what I think. Here's my opinion.
Tell me.
Some of the second act wasn't 100% my cup of tea. It got a little bit slow. The beginning was great. You know, the first act and the third act is what it was all about for me. It was fun. There was piranhas attacking. There was cool shit going on. You know, how about this? Something just popped in my head because I was about to say something. But you know how when we used to do two movies, an old movie and a new movie, they had a connection?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? You would think that these two movies don't have a connection, but they do. Can you guys name what it is? Something cool about these two movies. It happens in both these two movies, and it's not something that we usually see in movies, and it happens in both of these films.
Kids die.
Yes! Kids get fucking whacked. Yes! Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, it is good stuff. And kids die in this. And if it's a spoiler, I'm sorry. But yeah, kids die, and it's interesting and fun.
They shy away from showing the kids die, though, in this one.
Yeah, but still. Come on.
Still, they're dead. Awesome.
It's not just one kid like in Jaws. You know what I mean? With the overturned raft.
It's implied that a lot of kids are gone.
Yeah, dude. You see the piranha shooing on them a little bit, you know?
I love the effects in this. I really do.
I do too.
This movie did have a good budget, though. Sorry,
but a 17-year-old did these effects.
What?
Yeah, Rick Baker. They wanted Rick Baker to do it, but he turned it down. But he recommended this Rob Bottin, who went
Rob
on.
Bottin?
Oh yeah, Rob Bottin did the thing. Yeah. I didn't know he did Piranha. I actually didn't research that part.
Me neither. How the hell did I miss that in the credits?
How the hell did I mispronounce his name? But I did. He was 17 years old at the time.
Revoke? Yeah, it's
Revoke.
Revoke.
Sorry, Moods.
Yeah. Awesome. Revoke.
No, and I remember him being young on the thing, and that was 4 years later, because then he would have been like 21 years old, right?
Yeah, he was 17 when he was recommended for this.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, he was a whiz kid of special makeup effects for sure.
Fantastic stuff in here. I even enjoyed, even though I wish it was used more in the film, the stop motion animation.
Oh, dude. Didn't that take you by surprise? Well, it was my first time. I was expecting to see a movie about Piranha. You know what I mean? I was not expecting, and they didn't really. It was only like really in the first act, and then that thing was kind of scrapped. I guess it was just implied that because of that, A equals B. You know what I mean? But I saw that stop motion creature walking around, a fish walking with a fucking.
He's going.
Legs.
He was like.
Is that what he was like?
He was making sounds. He was like.
One more time, Brandon.
Okay, as long as you're making noises. Can you make the piranha noise when the piranha attack?
It's a dentist drill.
What?
It was a dentist drill that they
the
used.
The thing that was going, and then that was a fucking dentist drill.
Was used to create the sounds of the piranha eating.
What the fuck? Well, it was more than that. I mean, yeah, there was but there was also that noise that, you know, that. You know. You know what I'm talking about?
Afro zebra, Afro zebra.
If you say so, okay.
Sounds like what
Back
you're
to the
humming.
movie. Yeah.
Sounds like you're humming the circus theme.
The circus. Christian needs a break from the circus tonight. Come on.
$600,000 budget. I got to get back to that. Double the budget of fucking Halloween, and
Yeah. Wow. Shit.
and they put some shit in it. There's explosions. You don't expect explosions in this.
True. How about when that guy flipped his Jeep? Guy, I was cracking up. Were you guys laughing too? It was
it's awesome.
Something about it was hysterical. The guy's driving and he flips it.
I know we're all over here, but that just
Whatever.
shows how much fun he's having. Like Joe Dante, it's really a tongue in cheek, like a big wink, like he did. Like, well, no, Braden's a big wink,
what?
but that's.
Did you say a tongue
too.
in chink?
I was laughing already. Yes.
He did say a tongue in chink. Wait, is
That's-
Menage a twat.
that an Asian thing?
Right.
I love you, long time. I didn't say. Did I say
This
tongue in
movie's
cheek?
so tongue in chink.
I heard it immediately. I started laughing. I
Tongue in
was hoping
cheek.
Brandon caught out.
Cheek.
Christian's off the wall tonight. Oh my
I'm so racist. I didn't even know it.
Oh man.
I didn't mean that at all. But
Buddy, I'm fucking
no, but that's
sweating.
what the fun comes from. Joe Dante loves in jokes and having and shit and that's what makes this great. That's what makes The Howling great. I mean, he loves popping these little extras into the movie.
Yeah.
Listen.
The characters in this are fantastic as well. I thought Bradford Dillman was terrific in it. They actually gave substance to these
lead guy?
characters.
Fucking Maggie.
Grogan. Paul.
Just the introduction of Maggie. Like, they could have easily just had her, the sister of the girl, come in to find her sister, whatever it may be. But no, she was hired as a private investigator to figure out what happened to them. I thought that was a great, like, they didn't have to go that, like, I don't want to say convoluted because it adds a little more to the movie. But it seemed so bizarre that they could have just simplified it.
It's her fault that everything that happens in the movie takes place.
You think it's her fault? No.
Everything bad that happens is a result of something she did.
Oh, because
She
they drained the pond.
She drains the pond. She left the keys in the truck.
Okay, listen. This movie parallels Halloween 3, and I realized it because first of all, you get the guy saying,
Stop it!
"No, we don't get Tom Atkins at the end, but we do get the guy saying they'll kill us all," just like in Halloween 3. And the fact that this chick rolls into town and meets this guy and says, "Hey, come on this," and the guy just volunteers to drive her. She says, "I need a ride to this thing."
No, he doesn't volunteer. She's like, "You're gonna do it," and he's like, "Hey, listen, lady, I ain't gonna do shit for you." But she's just like, "Yeah," because she's so like ditzy and like.
It's like Halloween 3. He's trying to freaking probably get laid. That's what I got. You know?
That's how I felt.
Girl just rolls into town with no plan at all and says, "I'll go to this guy here and he's going to take me there and we're going to investigate." I'm like, what is this guy? Why does he want to go? But he does.
And he does. And he has great lines too. Like, I'd have thought you could have got a man's pants off quicker than that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does. Oh, that was good.
People eat fish, Grogan. Fish don't eat people. There are some great lines in this.
No,
yeah. Any mail for me? No. Skunked again, Grogan.
Yes, skunked again. And guess what? That line was used in another movie for a similar situation involving the mail. Somebody checks the mail and doesn't get what they want, and the kid goes, "Ooh, skunked again." You know what movie?
What movie?
Fucking A Christmas Story. When the kid's waiting for his little orphan Annie pin. That's what he says when Ralphie opens up the mailbox. He goes, "I've been waiting for the secret decoder pin." And he opens the mailbox and he goes, "Oh, skunked again." Isn't that weird? Skunked. Did you ever hear that phrase about the mail except these two movies?
You know what's great about A Christmas Story?
Bob Clark?
It's Canadian.
Oh, yes it is. Oh, Canada. Yeah.
Operation Razor Teeth.
That's what it is. Razor teeth.
That was Brandon's nickname in high school.
Menage a twat. Yes. You guys notice when that guy was cooking the fish that he basically ate a raw fish? He only cooked it on one side. There's a whole fish in a pan, and only one side of it was cooked. And he flipped it over in his plate, and he was about to begin eating it.
Yeah, but people eat raw fish.
Oh, they do?
called sushi.
Yeah, but that's different. That's prepared that way. This is a fish right out of the fucking water. You don't just grab a fish out of the water and eat. You're not a bear. You're a human being.
Maybe he's part bear.
I don't know. Okay, did you guys notice that one guy was Uncle Walt from the Twilight Zone movie? I've seen the Twilight Zone movie so many times that immediately I knew who that guy was. The older guy that gets killed in the water.
Gets his feet eaten?
The guy that...
No.
Oh, the guy that tries to save?
The guy that accompanies them.
Yeah, tries to save the kid?
Oh, you're talking about Kevin McCarthy. You keep referring to him
UHF.
as that guy. Yeah, he's a huge star. Was a huge star.
UHF.
Yeah, UHF too. It's been so long since I've seen it, but I always think of him as Uncle Walt because he was in. Remember, Do the Hat Trick, Uncle Walt?
The original Body Snatchers.
Okay.
I like the whole backstory in this film. The whole idea that he was genetically mutating these piranha to destroy the Vietnamese rivers. And then later on, there's a line in the movie that's very relevant even to today. And it's like, well, why didn't you destroy the project after the war ended? And Barbara Steele's character says, there'll be another war. There'll be more wars. And it was really well done in terms of setting up the story.
Yeah.
It's silly, it's goofy, but it's well thought out. It's well acted. Like you said, it's very quotable. I love the part where they're being held captive by the soldiers, and he's like, just distract him so we can get away. And she's like, what if he's gay? Then I'll distract him.
Oh, yeah. That was good.
What about the plan to get rid of them at the end? The raw sewage.
I love it. Oh, sorry.
I just thought it was a bizarre idea.
It seemed like a bizarre idea. I didn't know where it really came from. Like, oh, our shit will destroy them?
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like much came out.
Well, it came out, it flew out, and then, but of course, he got whisked away by the boat.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. I think he's in a catatonic state towards the end of the film, not because of the piranha bites, but because he hit his head on that damn window being pulled through.
But don't you love the eating scenes where the blood is bubbling
Fantastic.
up, like blood bubbles up like in almost Shogun Assassin amounts.
Yeah.
And some people are dead, and some people come off with a couple of scratches.
Exactly. That's a little bit of an issue. Some of them, it seems like they're being eaten for an hour.
Right.
And they come out with a few scratches, yet that one guy in the boat who's fishing with his kid.
Yes. Jumps in.
Yeah,
he's doing.
he jumps
remember
in
the guy's crowd surfing on him? He's passing him from one thing to the other.
Yeah.
That's the other guy. That's Kevin McCarthy, that scene. But that's what I thought right away. He jumped in, and then he's picking the kid up. He's going from one boat to the other. He's in there for like fucking 2 minutes. Meanwhile, the other guy, the bum, not the bum, but the guy that was drinking, has his legs in the water for freaking 10 seconds, and they get gnawed off.
That was funny. His legs just down to the bone.
That was cool. Yeah, that quick. Yeah.
Well, this is a perfect example of the power of a script. And I know it sounds maybe cliche, and of course you want a good script for a movie. But we there's some movies that we love that have kind of piss poor scripts, if I do say so myself. This movie has colorful characters. I know, Brandon, you kind of already talked about this and alluded to it in your little dissertation. But colorful characters, great quotable lines, as you said. And it's just all around fun. And there's some great sequences. I'm not going to say I was scared, but there's some great sequences like when they're on that raft and the piranhas start nibbling away at the ropes and start cutting the raft down. Great sequence.
Yeah,
great sequence, man. It just really well done. And Spielberg said this was the best Jaws ripoff.
That's why they dropped the lawsuit, because Spielberg actually really loved this movie because they were going to sue for ripping off Jaws, but he's like, it's a great movie. No need to file a lawsuit. But I love the special effects with the piranha. Apparently they were stuck on sticks, and then they would just have their hands like holding the sticks, poking at the piranha. It was really, really creative stuff. I quite enjoyed what they did with this film. I wondered what happened to the dog. What did they do with the dog?
Oh yeah, what did happen with the dog?
He buries his friend, and then they just leave the dog there. Yeah. Fuck that dog. Maybe he gored himself.
Yeah, it's my first time, so I can't remember. Oh, but I just remember, the 3 big attacks, and they were the highlights of the film were the attacks, and the raft thing was great. The raft
thing was great. Did you notice when they realize that it's Kevin McCarthy, Dr. Hoke's blood that's attracting them, and he goes to try to throw the body off? The kid goes, "No, that's what happened to my daddy. That's what happened to my daddy. And he sounded exactly like, you just broke my glasses. I swear, the way I'm not doing it justice, but the way he said it, he was acting like a 2-year-old. He was clearly like 12, 11. But he's like, no, that's what happened to my daddy. You just broke my glasses.
You just body slammed and broke my glasses. Yes. That shit's great.
That was great. That was a great scene.
I want to ask a question about McCarthy and the scene when he's passing the kid, the thing I was just talking about. Why the fuck did he was on a raft. The three of them were on a raft. This kid was on a canoe, right? So they're all floating, and they were slowly approaching this kid on a canoe. Why the fuck did McCarthy, Uncle Walt, jump off the raft to swim to the canoe just to get there 10 seconds quicker?
I obviously for another kill, right, Christian? That's what you're going to say.
I was going to say, yeah.
Hysterical.
But I actually think
heroic moment.
The whole dialogue leading up to it, it was actually pretty touching because he was like sort of defending all the choices he made. And then in that last moment, he realized that he fucked up and he wants to save this kid. Maybe he's thinking we're not going to get to him in time because the canoe is going under. So he's like, I'm going to save this kid and redeem myself as my final act.
You know what, Dave? To be honest, I know what you're saying, but when I watched it, I never questioned it. I actually didn't question it. I thought they built up to it well enough in the sense of like...
Yeah. I questioned it.
Oh, you did?
I
did. I didn't mind it, though. Like I said, that's how I justified it. Like, he's just doing it. But I'm like, just stay on the raft. You'll be there in 2 seconds.
What the fuck? He's risking his life just to get there a few seconds sooner.
But I felt like it was like, you know what? I've done so much damage. I'm gonna save this kid. I don't care about myself anymore.
This was Joe Dante's first movie, but it was his first, I think, official film because I think he did a documentary years before, and I think he did a co-directed something else. But this was his, I guess, first feature film. And you know what? Like you could see the talent right out of the gate. Like he did a great job out of the gate.
Yeah.
He's done some classic films, but his career really after the mid 80s kind of just dissipated. He made movies, but nothing great. And he liked to play around with like more mainstream, like Inner Space and everything else, Explorers. But I mean, it's like fuck, he gave us Gremlins and
The Burbs too, right? That's him.
The Burbs.
It's horror comedy.
Matinee.
A lot of comedy, but with rich characters and with thoughtful moments.
Definitely.
And this one has it. I mean, I was the one scene I felt was terrifying in this was the scene when Susie, the daughter, tries to rescue Betsy, and then she gets pulled and dragged under. Like, that was heartbreaking because she, like, the night before, like, they were gonna go swimming, and she was like, I have a bad feeling. It was almost like a premonition, and like that was actually like a creepy, heartbreaking moment.
It was. And
you actually care about these. You care about these characters.
Well, how could you not? The children and the little girl, because they, she's right in there from the beginning.
I'm talking about the adults too. Like I get, like, in the written story that Grogan's backstory is that he has an ex-wife and that's why he's hiding out in the cabin to get away from her, and there's all this stuff. But you even get a sense just from his interaction with I believe the guy's name was Jack and Brandy, the dog, at the beginning, that this guy's been through some tough times. He's trying to get his life together. They're rich, textured characters without too much backstory being given.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion.
I dig it. I mean,
even Maggie, she's silly and goofy, but at the core of it all, she genuinely cares, and she's trying to do right by not only finding these teens, but once she messes up, by fixing everything.
They're relatable.
Yeah,
I like them. My only beef at all is the second act is a little bit slow to me. I kind of fell out a little bit when they were getting into the politicking and the guy opening the place and this and that, the other. I was just kind of waiting for the next big attack.
They were always hiding and drinking beer. What are you doing back there? All they do is hide and drink beer.
But I enjoy it.
I think we were all over. We were all over with this review.
Oh, we were all over the place.
But it's fun, and that's what it's kind of like. To go in order sometimes is it's a little boring. I do have to say this, and I know Dave, you were had another thought, but the look of this film was fantastic because it reminded me of the first two Friday the 13th. I don't know, something about the actual look of the movie, the actual film stock. and whatnot reminded me of Friday the 13th era. So
And did you know that Joe Dante has a plate in his head?
I can't wait to be.
Okay, we're going to meet Tom Savini. We're going to go see Tom Savini in November.
Just had a fucking stroke. He's like, I can't wait to be.
Yeah,
And
I
then
just totally struck up because I'm so mad that I can't prove my total, like, I want to.
You know what? I 100% believe you. I 100% believe you that you saw. There's no way you can make something like that up.
I don't think he's making it up. I just think he's confused. It's just
Me? I'm confused?
Yeah, of course.
I think he read it somewhere. I honestly think he probably read it somewhere.
It happens.
Oh,
It happens
fuck.
to the best of us.
Come on, guys. Grand
We're gonna
Illusions. Anybody out there?
We're recording it. We're going to go to the Falls, Niagara Falls Horror Fest in November. We are going to record our interaction with Tom Savini, and you are going to ask him with us in
I gotta
tow.
I don't ask him. He's not gonna fucking remember.
He's not going to remember. Say, hey, when you did Texas Chainsaw 2, the guy who had a plate in his head, is it true that he really had a plate in his head?
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Fuck you all.
Make sure me and Dave get to talk to him first before you ask him that question, because he'll probably get thrown out after that.
That's true. He'll be pissed off. That'll be the end of us. You're right. Yeah, let Brandon blow him first, and then I'll shake his hand and say thank you for your work, and then
Operation
you
Razor
become
Teeth.
Yeah.
I'll give him the old razor.
Sound like a fucking dentist drill.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, exactly.
I felt like Barbara Steele's character was sort of an afterthought.
Yes,
I think he
agree.
just wanted to get her in there. That was a Joe Danteism, and I think he just wanted Barbara Steele in there.
Okay.
As a secondary role, and just pop her in there. And she looked like she was a walk-on. It looked like they filmed all her scenes in one day or something like that.
Yeah, and
Her hair looked
they tried to make her character have so much more meaning in the story, and ultimately she kind of does because she's the only baddie that survives. But connecting her to Dr. Hoke, that they used to have a intimate relationship.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But I loved to hate the Colonel. He was such a great villain, and even Buck, Dick Miller. What a bastard!
Oh yeah, yeah.
Would have liked to have seen him get it in the end.
That was just like Jaws. That.
I mean, get eaten by piranha, not get it.
Yeah, this fucking guy. Oh, Ben Bummer.
Opportunity.
Here's one line I like from it. The newscast. The girl goes like this when it's over with, and they're getting ready to film the news, and the woman comes on to the newscaster and she says, "Terror, horror, death, film at 11."
Yeah.
Great. I love that. That should be like the start of our show after the music, Put that. Film at 11. No, it's fucking great, man. And the water skier mishap was hysterical also. I just wanted to bring that up. I was cracking up when that guy was water skiing. They couldn't hear him. Then he's like, "Slow down!" Then they slow down. And he's like, "No, speed up!" A boat comes up. They collide. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I didn't even know what happened there. All of a sudden, like boats are flying in the air. I'm like, "What the hell is this?" It's like a Universal Studio performance.
I felt like I was at one of those things, like a Marineland or SeaWorld, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
They always love doing that in those movies. They had to have a car crash or like a boat chase, something, and they had both in this, so it was great.
How did he know that it was an imminent threat? All he saw was a dead body in the water. He's like, "No, don't stay here. Get out of here." Like he knew Killer Piranha did that. But it was still a blast.
It was a good one. Do we have anything else? I mean, before we rate?
We didn't really talk about Maggie's character at all, but she was funny.
Which one was Maggie?
The main girl.
The star.
I don't know the names. Fuck, you know me. I don't know. Okay, Maggie. That's the detective?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, they introduce her kind of goofy in it, but I like that. Like she's playing the Jaws game. And
the Jaws game.
The Jaws video game, yeah.
Yeah. You know what she reminded me of a little bit? PJ Souls.
Yes. Yeah. Very much so.
And there was another girl in it, which it wasn't, but it reminded me of, is it Nancy Allen? From Carrie. Nancy Allen,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, every time I saw her, I'm like, is that her? No, it can't be, because Carrie was a couple years before.
The other counselor.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. Yeah. Nancy Allen, right? Yeah.
Laura Dickinson. Melody Thomas Scott was the actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe you thought the same thing. That's great.
I did. No, because she did look like her.
The take home from this, the take home from Piranha is that I want to be validated for my plate in the head Tom Savini thing from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. That's the take home.
Thanks, Jerry.
I give this movie an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. All right, nice. I give it a 7.5. I'm glad I watched it. Thank you, Jerry, for bringing it to the table, and I'm definitely going to watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, before I just give my rating, I just want to say I love that last scene. You know, the image of the ocean, the sound of the piranha, and then it just turns blood red. The whole screen. Yeah. That was really cool.
Even the intro, when you see the title card, when Piranha goes into the water and it gets all red.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Word. Yeah, that's
I'm right with you, Christian. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Fun movie, man. Fun movie. Yeah. Thanks, Jerry. Because
Jerry.
It's been a long time. I'll have to seek out the 1995 just for shits and giggles again. I guess just to check it out. I like the remake. I admittedly, I'm a big fan of this remake. A fun movie to watch in the theater in 3D. I mean, it's a loose remake. Literally, Killer Piranha. It's got the big party happening, and of course, people get attacked. Other than that, it was fun, you know. And if anything else, Brandon got to see a cock coming out of him in 3D. No different than any other night, I guess.
I actually never saw the remake, but you know what I'm watching after we record. I mean, what scene I'm watching over and over.
I saw it once, and I enjoyed it. I think I own it, too, the remake. But I never saw the other one.
I see the clips from it, all the effects, and it looks really gory, so...
It's okay.
No, that's. I'm not complaining.
I know you're not. Yeah, of course it is. That was Piranha. Good stuff.
Piranha.
Piranha. Yes. So, what's next?
What is the correct pronunciation? Because they say piranha in the movie the whole time.
I don't know. I think it's Piranha, but I don't know where.
I've always known it as Piranha.
But you did notice that everyone in the movie is like Piranha.
Yeah, some people. Yeah. Some people did say Piranha.
We'll get the pronunciation here. Hold on. You guys.
Maybe it's plural. Maybe the plural of Piranha is Piranha. One Piranha.
Is it Piranha in Canada?
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. You wisecracking prick.
Oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna play it for us. Let's hear it.
Piranha or Piranha.
It says both.
Or you son of a
Piranha.
Piranha or Piranha.
Asking about Bill Moseley's plate.
Chrome Dome.
Siri, did Bill Moseley have a plate? Yeah, you fucking assholes.
It's Siri in Canada? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Canadian Siri.
Yeah, Canadian Siri.
It's Maple Siri.
That was fucking gold.
Thank you.
Very good.
Maple Surrey.
We're the only three laughing at this show right now. Everyone's listening and they're like, what the fuck are these idiots laughing at?
I fucking donated to this shit?
Tier what? I'm going down a tier. They're going down a tier and so am I.
No refunds.
Too late. That's it. You're signed in. Sorry.
You're locked in for a 2-year contract when you sign on for
Oh, shit. Ooh, I'm sweating. Good Lord, this place is hot. Okay, let's get to emails here. We have a straight-up email, and then we have some messages that were sent to us. So one is from the famous Jim K, and the other one is from a new listener. But let me go to this. This one comes from Hudson Williams. Hi, it's Hudson again. First off, I want to thank you guys for answering my first email with such thought and creativity. It really meant a lot, and it left me positively flabbergasted. Now I will get into my question or questions. I was listening to this other podcast, Schmoes Know, and they play a game titled Sophie's Choice. In this game, they are given 2 movies. Then they are told they can keep one movie while the other film is erased from history. I thought this would be fun for you guys if the game was changed to be more horror-based. Okay, so I'll start.
I like this.
Sorry. Yeah,
this is fun.
It's cool. I'll give you an easy one. You must choose one of the James Wan directed films, Insidious or The Conjuring. Now, you can only keep one while the other gets removed from time. No one will have any memory of the film you don't pick. Like, everyone was neuralized, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Neutralized?
Well, I'm reading it
Neutered?
I don't know. By the Men in Black, whatever that thing is that erases
Oh,
them.
neuralized.
Neuralized, okay. Also, don't think about the sequels or the universes these films spawned, just the two films individually. That's what made it hard for me.
Oh, wow, I didn't read that part.
Well,
so
now you gotta think.
Fuck.
That's what makes it hard, because don't
that
think about the sequels or the universes these films spawned, just the two films individually. It doesn't mean you can't think about other things that may have spawned, though, right? So, okay, let's get to it.
Okay.
Now that we have the rules and the first example out of the way, I'll run through the other choices for you. So first of all, let's do the first one. We went over it. Insidious or The Conjuring?
Conjuring.
I'm keeping The Conjuring.
You're keeping The Conjuring?
Yeah.
I'm keeping Insidious. And it's close. It's close.
Way to be different.
You're already
It's
wrong.
close.
Yeah.
Way to be wrong.
You've been neutralized.
Good day, sir.
Insidious scared me a little bit more.
You've been neuralized.
Exterminate.
Insidious scared me a little more. It was a little creepier. There was a couple scenes that worked well on me, and I do enjoy The Conjuring, but The Conjuring was things that I've seen in other movies before, where the Insidious, except for the obvious Poltergeist comparison, but the first half of that movie was just, I don't know. It's tough. It wasn't an easy choice, but either way.
That was actually, I think, one of the harder ones to start out with.
It is a hard one. It's close. It's close. Okay, so now, both 1980s vampire films, The Lost Boys or Fright Night?
Keeping Fright Night.
You know, I don't even have to say I'm keeping Fright Night.
Okay. Now, I'm keeping Fright Night too, but not for the reasons that you guys think. I don't know which movie I like more. I've only seen Fright Night once. I've seen The Lost Boys several times, but it's been years. But I've always really liked it. But I'm being unselfish. I'm picking Fright Night because of two people.
The greater good.
One in this room. Brandon, Fright Night is the movie that introduced you to horror, and it's also the movie that introduced moods to horror. So if not for Fright Night, there may not be 22 shots at moods and horror, and there may not be exploding heads. So I have to go with that.
This is a really sweet moment right now. That means a lot. Dave actually put a lot of thought into that.
I love you guys, man. If there was no Fright Night, see, thank you.
We love you too.
See, that's what I'm saying.
do. I don't know if Moods does.
He must. He must.
He might.
So we all choose Fright Night. Okay. Both Stuart Gordon directed films, Reanimator or From Beyond?
Reanimator.
Yeah, Reanimator for me.
Reanimator for me. I just love it more than From Beyond.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I love From Beyond, but I love Reanimator more.
Absolutely. Same thing.
The fucking Barbara Crampton head scene alone. Beautiful. It was very hard to masturbate to that when I was younger because like it's a severed fucking head, but I didn't matter.
You know what though? You probably could have masturbated more to From Beyond when she's in that garb, when she's dressed up in the freaking.
And I did.
Wow.
I don't know which one I did more to, but
If it's for masturbating, I choose From Beyond because Ken Faree's pineal gland was really much more attractive.
do I have to get the pronunciation of pineal gland too?
I think it's pineal.
Let's keep Christian busy somehow.
I'm joking.
Okay. Okay. Both Stephen King works. Carrie or Misery?
Ooh, tough one.
Carrie.
I say Carrie too, and one of the main reasons is because of what it spawned. Now, he said you can't choose the sequels or the universes, and I'm not. But Carrie spawned the jump scare. Without the jump scare, you don't get the Jason jumping out of the water in Friday the 13th.
Or the Lick My Muffin ending.
Or the Lick My Muffin ending.
Although, yes, of course, Lick My Muffin. I do prefer Carrie slightly. Not even slightly. I prefer Carrie to Misery, but they're both great movies.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much almost all the same. Okay, this is where it may differ. Both horror anthologies.
Of course it's gonna differ. Look at your shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No
Dave
shit.
is wearing a Creep Show shirt.
Yeah.
Damn straight. That's right. R.I.P. George Romero.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Trick or Treat or Creep Show?
Love them both, but Creep Show for sure.
Yes, obviously Creep Show for me. It's the best.
You know what, man? I grew up with Creep Show as well, but I'm going Creep Show.
Nice.
I'm going Creep Show. Yeah.
Yeah!
I actually like Trick or Treat and rated it a little bit higher, but I would choose Creep Show.
Creep Show's in my top 10 films. Period. Horror films. So,
It's fantastic.
of course, I'm choosing it. And Trick or Treat, I think it's a little bit overrated by the horror community, but I still think it's a great film.
Yeah.
But they're both great anthologies.
Great anthologies for sure.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait to get into this one.
Oh, God.
Both humorous pieces of trash. Troll 2 or Thanksgiving.
See, I've never seen Thanksgiving.
Me either, but I still choose it because Troll 2 is atrocious.
It sure as fuck is.
Yeah, but it's so hard because I don't know what I'm choosing.
I'll take anything. I wish Troll 2 never existed again.
Yeah, you're not taking Troll 2. That's the
But
victory.
I love it. I love how bad it is. Like, it's just
Oh,
so
not even-
bad.
I hate
It's so bad it's bad, though. It's not so bad it's good. This is what I don't get. I sat down wanting to be entertained, hoping it was so bad it's good, and I chuckled once. I was like, this is just fucking bad. I don't get the fascination. I've seen plenty of movies that are so bad it's good that are 100 times better than this. So
Yeah,
that's
but
why I hate it.
You don't even know if Thanksgiving is worse.
I saw the first 5 minutes. I don't care what it is. I wish I can wipe Troll 2 just from existence against any other movie you put it against, honestly. I don't know. I saw the first 5 minutes of Thanksgiving, and I laughed because the guy said something. I think he got on top of this girl, and he said, "Oh, something, bitch." Or, I don't know. It was
Always a
take
laugh
that.
a moment.
Look in the bowl, bitch.
Clay, yeah. Fuck you, JP.
We got gravy and fucking...
Honestly, I say destroy both films.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Erase
just-
both.
True, but there was
I've never seen
TNA.
Thanksgiving, so I don't know.
There was TNA in Thanksgiving. In Thanksgiving, in the first 5 minutes, there was TNA, and it was a guy and a turkey
bitch.
killing her, saying "bitch." Come on,
All right, I'll take Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't even know if I'm allowed to because I haven't seen it, but I'll take Thanksgiving just on that description alone.
Nice, sweet. All right, and for the final question, both called masterpieces of the modern day by your podcast,
By your podcast.
The Witch or Neon Demon.
Oh wow.
Why does it have to be?
This is a gut punch. This is truly Sophie's choice. Like, which child are you about to kill?
You know what? I rated the Neon Demon higher. I had it higher on my list last year, yet I'm going to pick the Witch.
Nice. Of course, I'm picking the Witch. Isn't there any doubt? I love.
Yeah,
Neon.
and Christian, I did the same thing as you. Obviously, I rated Neon Demon a 10. I think I gave The Witch a 9 or 9.5, but I'm still gonna pick the Neon Demon.
Oh, you are. Wow.
I am. Yeah.
Hey, that's all right, man.
And actually, I think I rated them the same. I stand corrected. I think I rated them
Yeah.
the same.
I think you
Because my
did.
highest rating was a 9.5, and that was February. Then I rated
Correct.
Neon Demon, and then I had the Witch, I believe. So, yeah. So I am going to pick the Witch. The Witch is just the sense of dread in that movie it's just beautiful.
I choose both because I'm getting rid of Troll and Thanksgiving, and I'm keeping Neon Demon and the Witch.
No, you can't. That's not playing by the rules.
That's what I'm doing.
Now this is the most interesting one: Brandon Orlick, Dave Z, or Christian Luciani.
Marry one, fuck one, kill one. Go.
On the page.
Yeah, Mary fuck kill. Nice.
I'm dead.
I'm getting fucked. I hope.
I'm getting married. Hey. Yes.
They wouldn't do that to you, Dave. They know your thoughts on that.
I'm happily married. I'm okay.
I'm
But hey, I
fucking
could
toast.
practice polygamy. Whatever.
Polygamy.
Polygamy. Okay. And yes, there's a little PS. I hope you have fun answering these questions and deciding which films matter to you more. Thanks for a great show, and thanks for always being so great to the fans. Thanks again, Hudson Williams. Thank you, sir.
Great question. I'd do that again with more.
Yeah, that
more
was
options.
awesome.
Yes, somebody do more. Winston, you do them. Or Winston. Hudson, sorry.
And Winston. Every fucking.
We have a
one.
Winston.
All of
Hudson-
them, I know.
Hudson and
Marlboro.
Winston, get together.
All of them.
Let's make this happen.
I looked at Williams, and I thought Winston. That's what it was. Winston and Williams. Yeah, get together.
Vincent Williams, biggest patron.
Well, speaking of that, he made T-shirts here. Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast T-shirts. He did his own design. It said, "Do you guys have any merchandise the listeners can buy?" Like shirts or something along that line, because I would love to support you guys with something visible. And if you don't have any merchandise, that's okay. I designed my own shirt that I'll be willing to share with other fans if they are interested. I love the shirt. We have a shirt that's with our logo on it now. It's where all the horror figure shirts are. And there's another shirt that was being designed. Remember we saw the other one from our buddy that did the 22 shots
Yeah.
shirts?
Oh, yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened with that, but I like that shirt, and I like this shirt too. This shirt, what I like about it is that it's original. It's not the scanner's head. It's our own thing, and it's, you guys seen it. You guys remember what it looks like, right?
Yeah.
This freaking thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's freaking sweet, man.
I don't even mind the font that he used, but we could put our logo font on it.
Yeah, maybe we can combine it. But I love the way it looks with someone listening to, with the headphones and their head exploding.
That's awesome. It really is.
So maybe we can get this on the Patreon page. Somehow we can team up with them. I don't know. Christian, you know how to do that shit, right? With the font?
Yeah, he just did it there. We just replaced that font with ours. Although that is good, but then it's a total combination.
Well, let's get to work on it. So
We'll do.
If you're between the two of you, maybe something will
yes,
happen. That'll be cool.
Yes, sir.
Ah,
Anything else, sir?
yeah.
Yes.
That'll be good though.
Master.
See, you're the man. It's for the Patreon people, huh? It's for the listeners. The
Oh, of
Patreon
course, of course.
shit like that, So it's all good.
This is all in tongue in cheek.
Menage a twat, tongue in cheek. Absolutely.
I can't believe I'll listen to the playback. There's no way it's a tongue in cheek.
I heard it immediately. I started
most
laughing
certainly
before
said
Brandon said a word.
Well, I
Yeah, that's what
apologize
mean.
to our Asian fans and anybody else.
Our former Asian fans.
It's just like cinematography. You just fucked up a little bit. That's all.
He actually never said cinematography. He said cinematography. He reversed the M and the N.
Cinematography.
I've done that since I was a
Cinematography.
kid. Because it's my mouth moves faster than my brain.
But
It's just-
cinematography is so much better. So we
Yeah, true. It's like aminals. Instead of saying animal, saying aminal.
and I've never done that.
I am not an aminal.
I think I used to
I
say
am not an
reanimator though, but I can't. Maybe. Yeah.
Animator? Reanimator? Oh, no, reanimator.
Yeah, probably something like that. Fucked it
All
up.
right. Indeed. Do you have that question, Christian, or am I pulling up
Oh
Jim
no!
Cage?
Here we go.
Go for it. All right.
Here we go. This was given to me by Messenger by Josh Ellis, and it was okay. Dario Argento and Lucio Fulci are two of Italy's greatest horror directors ever. But who do you guys personally prefer out of the two, and what film of each director's would you say is the strongest? For me, I prefer Fulci, but I think its best work is City of the Living Dead. And Argento's best work for me is Deep Red. Thanks, guys. Well, this was given to us, I think, simultaneously. We just released episode 40. It just come out. So I think we kind of blew our loads in that. But just to directly answer the question, I do like Lucio Fulci, and I do like a lot of his movies. Not all of his movies, but a lot of them. But Argento is my pick.
Dario Argento. Wait, didn't you just pick Fulci?
No, I picked Argento. Dario Argento is my pick, and I said there's too many good fucking movies, but I think I'm gonna do Opera as my fave with Suspiria a close second.
You were reading his answers.
Yeah,
when he said
that was his answer. I'm sorry. That was his
no, I got
full-
confused because I'm like, didn't he just pick Fulci? Nice.
That was the rest of Josh's message.
What's your favorite from Fulci?
The Beyond.
Beyond. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, most people know that Argento is my favorite horror director, so I'll say it again. I do like Fulci. I don't even know if Fulci's in my top 10 for horror directors, but I do like him. He's obviously in the top 20. There's only so many good ones. So I do like Fulci, but Argento is my favorite director, period. So Suspiria is my favorite movie from him. I agree with The Beyond is Fulci. Fulci's best, my favorite.
Yeah, my pick is also Argento. Movie would probably be Tenebrae, possibly Deep Red. And for Fulci, My favorite is City of the Living Dead as well.
Nice.
Good picks.
How cool.
What
What?
were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say how cool. How cool that the three of us picked Argento and we each picked a different movie as our favorite Argento. That's really cool, man. It's just
Well, I think that's what it is for me. I can't really. I shouldn't even really say that, but because Fulci has some really vast hits as well. But I prefer the Argento more.
damn straight. I haven't seen all of Fulci, I confess. You know what I mean? There's just still some I haven't seen it, but his narratives aren't as cohesive to me. But I still enjoy. I think The Beyond is fantastic, and I enjoy pretty much all that I've seen. But like House of the Living Dead, or pardon me, House of the Living Dead, House by the Cemetery. Excuse me. I combined House by the Cemetery and City of the Living Dead.
Beyond House of the City of the Living Dead Duckling. Notice how I combined 4 movies. Beyond the Dead Duckling.
Oh, jeez. I'm done. I'm not okay.
Don't torture a zombie.
But I will say thanks, Josh. And keep
Yes.
if you have any other questions, let us know, man.
And that goes for anybody. Yes, please. So if you don't want to email, you can message us on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. If you're not friends with me, I'm easy to find. Dave Z, Z-E-E, because that's how Facebook makes me do it. And there's 3 or 4 Dave Z's on there, but you'll see ours. Mine has the exploding head logo. So
Pick your favorite Dave Z and write to him.
yeah, I'm your favorite Dave Z. Come on. So check it out. Jim K. Hi, Dave. I like the idea of doing a top 20 list of best horror movie scenes, EH style. I'll give my top 10 in no particular order. Jaws. He loves Jaws. Is it your favorite movie, Jim K? Jaws? Because it always is on your list. So anyway, Jaws. Quint/Hooper comparing tattoos in the USS Indianapolis story. Gives you chills. Friday 4. Opening campfire review. Amazing. Yeah. The Shining, Jack's convo with Lloyd at the ballroom. Wow, that is great. Body Snatchers, Woman Who Meets Sutherland and The Screech. The Omen, The Maid, Damien, It's All For You, creepy. Carrie, Prom Scene, batshit crazy. American Werewolf in London, transformation scene, still holds up, that's for sure. Psycho, too many scenes, but Martin Balsam walking up the stairs and then falling in that weird way, incredible. I know some people don't like that scene. I've always liked it, but I've heard people like.
It's shocking still.
I like the way
it's yeah, I like the way it's shot too. It's like unsettling. It I don't know. It makes me feel weird.
I dig it.
Makes me tingle downstairs.
Oh shit. The Birds, The Attack on the Town. Yep. Poltergeist, Zelda Rubinstein gathering everyone and her speech. Very cool. Honorables. Silence of the Lambs. Clarice's first encounter with Hannibal. The Changeling. Claire goes back to the house and meets up with a wheelchair. That's great.
You should have got schmumma cunt. That's my Clarice. Been waiting to bring her out. Schmumma cunt.
How do you get him to swallow his own tongue?
Right? I don't know. I wish I had that power, though.
God, I love that movie.
I myself cannot. Okay, this is a great list to do because there are so many great scenes, and with some movies you can make a top list of that movie alone. I'd be curious to see how similar your lists are. All right. Usually when we get a Jim K question, the next show we've done top 20s, we've done the next show. We're not going to do it the next show. We will, however, do it. We're going to do it when we do another top 20 show. This will be it. We'll come up with some scenes, or we might do something else. We've even discussed maybe doing more than that on a bigger show. I don't know, but this will be visited again. And Christian, remember how we busted on you because you made you did a thing about Final Girls?
Yeah.
Guess what you did? I figured out what you did.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay. I'm calm.
I got you.
All right,
Calm, please.
Take it easy.
We asked the Headites for 2 things for the last show. One of them was topics segments, okay? And we took a list. Then we also asked them for top 20 lists, and we took recommendations for that. And we decided we were going to do the top 20 VHS and the top 20 best endings, correct? For that particular show. Now, one of the requests we had was top 20 fave ladies / final girls in horror films. So you confuse yourself by taking that top 20 recommendation and doing it and looking at it as if it was a segment, idea from a listener. So that's why you did that.
I did both, and we also had a worst movies by best directors, and he's still waiting to hear about it because he keeps commenting on the page. So I'm going to answer that question right now because there's somebody who's like, I really want you to answer this question. You guys haven't answered it yet. He goes, my question was worst movies by the best directors. So of course, one of my favorite horror directors was John Carpenter, and I'd say some of his lesser works were The Ghost of Mars, The Village of the Damned remake, and The Ward.
Yeah.
And Wes Craven I've already pretty much blew my load the last couple of shows. That would be The Hills of Ice 2, Deadly Friend, Shocker, and Cursed. And unfortunately, George Romero, R.I.P., I'd say Survival of the Dead and Bruiser. Although Wes Craven is up there, I think I have other directors above him, but those are the three that I wanted to feature.
Very good. I'm of course I'm unprepared because this was spur of the moment, but
yeah,
we can do it, Dave.
We could try. I mean, Argento. What's my least favorite Argento film?
Oh,
boy,
Phantom of the Opera.
That's just it though. Even though Phantom of the Opera is considered his worst, I watched it and I don't think it's bad. I don't think any Argento movie is bad. I've never watched a movie and walked away saying it sucked. To me, they've always been at least a 5 out of 10, even the ones that people say are bad.
Yeah, but that would be your choice, and that would be the worst movie. The worst movie in your opinion for the best director. For Argento, I would have to say Dracula, only because there's still some of the more modern ones that I have to see.
I don't even know if I can pick for Argento. I guess I could say Phantom of the Opera, but like I said,
I never saw Dracula AD, so I can't pick that.
It's not bad, man. Well, I don't know. There's some things about it I like, and there's some things about it I don't. There's a couple good sequences.
And same here.
It's shot well.
Yeah, it's same here. Right. But again, it's just from the overall body of work from the ones that I've seen. That's the one I'm picking.
I grew up loving Trauma, and the last time I watched Trauma was like 2 years ago, and I didn't like it. And I don't know why, but it just didn't do anything for me last time I watched it. So right now, it feels like it's at the bottom right now. It's weird to say that, but I don't know. I don't know what happened.
You had the Wes Craven thing when I said that. I think because Dario Argento's name was attached to it, and you're younger, you wanted to love everything that came out at that time. And I was very forgiving of Trauma too, but I haven't watched it in years, so maybe I'll have the same experience with you that you've had with that as well.
And you know what? Like John Carpenter, I haven't watched this shitty. I try to avoid shitty movies. So I haven't seen The Ward, and I haven't seen Ghost of Mars. And what's the other one you picked?
Village of the Damned remake. Some people loved it.
Once. Yeah. I saw it once years ago. I don't remember, and I haven't gone back to revisit it. So I'll say Village of the Damned. I'll have to agree. Wes Craven, I haven't seen it. Well, did he do Hills Have Eyes 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know? See, it would all fall in line with pretty much what you said. I'm thinking of, like, Cronenberg is another one, and I haven't been disappointed by Cronenberg yet. However, I haven't seen everything. I wasn't that crazy about the one that we watched for 2002 or 96. Which one was that, Brandon? Remember? About the crashing. There you go. About the crashing.
I like that. People like that in the theater in droves, and I just thought it was really cool. I loved what he was trying to do with it, but I can understand why people might not like that movie. I wasn't a big fan of Spider. I know, Brandon, you said you really liked Spider.
I like Spider. I wasn't a big fan of Existence.
Existence was really? Almost like a failed update of Videodrome, and I wasn't into it either.
Yeah, that was a one-time watch for me, and if I revisit it now, maybe I'd enjoy it. So I don't know.
I haven't seen it. See, that's just it. I've avoided so many movies, that I don't even know what to say.
You might love them. You never know. You never do know.
I might. I know. I do. Sometimes my avoidance of movies ends up being a negative, but I think for the most part I avoid the right ones. But yeah, I'm sure I've missed out on some, But what other horror directors? Romero, I've never seen Bruiser. I've never, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Survival of the Dead. I didn't even see the whole thing, but I wasn't crazy about what I saw.
I think Bruiser's the worst of all of them.
See, I never watched it. See, I avoid all these shitty movies. So it's, for someone like me, it's not even, I guess I can go back and watch all these shitty movies and report back to you sometime,
What about you, B?
Yeah, what about you?
Well, I'm a fan of M. Night's films, but obviously sticking with the horror films, even though he did that stupid sci-fi one and then that Avatar one, I'm not going to include those. I would say The Happening. It didn't translate well.
No,
The story,
not at
it just played silly and ridiculous. Plus, it was poorly cast as well. Who else? Tom Holland. I love Fright Night. I love Child's Play, but he hasn't done a lot of directing. I like Thinner, but I mean Thinner's the weakest of the three. I mean, I know he's done other stuff, but I think those are like the main ones that I know of. So like
The Tempt, he did too. The Tempt. It was more of a thriller.
okay, yeah, I don't even remember that one. Fulci, for me, Enigma. I only saw it once, but I remember not being too high on that one at all.
Well, yeah. You said he didn't. I know we had this conversation before. He did Zombie, but he didn't do, or Zombie 2, depending on where. But he didn't do Zombie 3. He wasn't the director of Zombie 3
No,
or 4.
no.
Okay. Yeah, because those were. I didn't like those.
For me, Enigma was probably my least favorite Fulci film that I've seen. Yeah.
I'm not versed in Fulci as much as I should be.
Yeah, with the Carpenter films, the ones you've actually said, I never saw the Village of the Damned remake. I started The Ward, couldn't get into it. So
I saw it in
that's
the Toronto Film Festival. I was so looking forward to it, midnight screening and everything. I fell fucking asleep.
Yeah.
And I could not get into it either. And I did rewatch it, and the whole cast, the Amanda, the hot chick from
Amber Heard.
Yeah, Amber Heard. She was there. John Carpenter couldn't be there. Like, he doesn't come to Toronto often because when Vampires played at the Fantasia Fest, he didn't come either. So,
Bastard.
unfortunately. But anyway, I came in my pants. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But that's it. We finally answered the question.
There you go. Cool. Unless you got any more, B? Are you cool?
Not off the top of my head, I didn't.
Yeah. I couldn't think of directors either, like a whole off the top of my head. Like Tobe Hooper. I haven't seen all of them. You know what I mean?
Tobe Hooper, I mostly dislike.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the fucking thing, man. He's done some fucking wacky shit.
Yeah. A lot of them have. Well, I'll think of some more maybe. I'll think of some more
Yeah, we
directors.
we can come back to this.
I'll revisit it. Yeah, but I'm glad you thought to do it, Christian. So who was that was asking? Do you remember? Well, whoever you are.
I don't think it was
question is-
Geordie. I don't think it was Geordie.
Well,
but-
whoever.
Yeah,
They're happy.
but we
They're
answered
happy
it.
with something.
It might have been
right,
Geordie.
see?
Fuck, it's the answer, for fuck's sake. What do you want from
That's
me?
right. There you go.
I have to
So
know
if
who
you
it's
really
for, too.
want us, if you really want us to answer something, just keep pestering us on the group page.
Yeah.
And if you're not on the group page, get on there. Facebook, get on there. Exploding Heads, join. We're there. So many polls, so many things that are there that are relevant to the show.
Christian's salivating with so many polls.
Yeah. Okay. What's next? Triple R's? We got a couple Triple R's to go over. I know that Christian definitely has an agenda with his, so I'm definitely curious.
Well, yeah, and I think you said at the top of the show, like, I was on vacation with the circus last week. It's been a crazy time. The whole summer is going to be crazy. So I actually watched the movies that we did for our main reviews. But for my Triple R's, I want to kind of revisit kind of an update from our guest spot on the 22 Shot Show and talk about some of the 86 movies that I fucking watched but wasn't able to talk about.
Yeah. Well, we only recorded 6 hours. I guess they could have given you another hour if they wanted.
Fucking JP.
You could have stayed on and continued to record after we all went to bed.
Yeah, Moods tried. Honorable mentions? Give us 3. Moods is like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm like number
I know,
20.
50. I think he named every movie he watched ever.
Yeah, some of those weren't even 86.
Yeah. Can I get a shout out? He just kept going. We're like, moots. Anyway, that's my agenda. So you guys will do the usual. Everybody will go, I guess, take a round. But I'll be talking some shit about and some good stuff about some 86 gems and crap.
Gems and crap. I like the sound of it. All right.
Segment. Gems and crap.
Triple R, : gems and crap. All right. So yeah, 86. Go ahead. What do you got, man? You want to start?
Oh, you want me to start? Okay, well, here's one that utterly confuses me. I know we kind of talked about this during the show. Maximum Overdrive. I don't know if I hate this fucking movie or love it, because it's so bad. It's a bad movie. I'll tell you right now, it's a bad movie. But is it so bad it's good, or is it just a bad movie? And there's so many whacked out moments. I mean, we had the premise alone. I don't know. You knew Stephen King was on fucking coke, because how he thought that this made a good movie about the asteroid and being the tail of the asteroid for 6 days or 7 days or whatever like that, and it only affects trucks, but cars are not affected, and electronics yet. But it makes electronics do stupid things. So really, you're saying that what the electronics want to do, and don't get me wrong, I think it's funny as shit, but it makes clocks say "fuck you," and bank machines say you're an asshole, and then like that, it just doesn't make sense, the movie, at all. You have psycho soda pop machines, the steamroller that mows over the kid, and then the missile launcher that comes out of like nowhere. The cars are excluded except VWs, of course, because I think there's one VW that's crazy. Water sprinklers, come on, out of the blue. I guess they're on timers, but I don't know why they got affected. You know, there's that whole scene with the girl that says hero. I hate her. She's a horrible lead girl. And what's his face? Emilio Estevez. They have time for sex while this is all happening. That whole fantastic moment when the waitress is like, "We made you!" And she goes out and then she just she has a freak out, whacked out moment. There's so many whacked out moments here. Yeah, that's exactly it. Is it great? Yeah. Like I love it, but it's so bad. And this is you're talking about Troll 2 being bad. It's bad. You wish it was never made. This is bad, but I could watch it over and over and over again. The AC/DC soundtrack, I loved. We brought it up last show. I love the Bible salesman trying to cop a feel, always putting his hand on her. And then like when he's trying to sell the Bibles in the restaurant while they're holed up there, and then the truck hits his car and he goes, "Get out of my way, bitch."
Yeah.
And he goes outside. And then I love how he's filling up with gas, and Emilio Estevez goes up to the truck, starts whispering it like, "We've got the best shit on the East Coast, practically uncut." Like, it's just like, Stephen King wrote this shit. He wrote it. I love Stephen King, but he wrote it.
But it's great. Yeah.
The whole world's gone tits up. And then fucking lines like, "Oh, shit skis, Bubba. I don't give a ladybug." The Green Goblin truck. The fact that there's a fucking arsenal of weapons in the basement of this truck. The downfall is it's a blast to watch. It's a blast to watch. It does drag a little bit in the second act, and there's no climax. It just sort of ends. But it's watchable as hell. And like I said, it's a horrible movie. I don't know what to rate it, because the part of me that says it's so bad wants to rate it really low. But I can continuously watch it. I've loved it since I was a kid, and I watched it again for that show, and I'll continue to watch it, and I like it. So I guess I have to more go for like a 6 out of 10.
Ha! Nice. Listen, same grade as me. It was my first time watching it, and I still gave it a 6 out of 10.
I actually gave it higher than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and it could be a 10 out of 10, like a Talking Avenger bad, but I don't know if I could, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so fucking bad shit, but I love it. I will watch it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I graded it strictly on entertainment value, because I knew I wasn't putting it in my top 10, but like entertainment-wise, I was like, this is like a 7, 7.5 for me. I'm loving this.
Well, there you go.
So it almost made your list.
It is entertaining as hell, but it's a bad movie.
The thing with me is the first act was great. It was all stuff that was so bad it's good. But by the second half of the movie, it seemed like all that stuff went away, and there was no funny moments anymore. It just seemed like it was very top heavy in the so bad it's good department, and I respected it for that. Like I caught a lot of laugh. I'll just read my notes quickly. Here's what they say: Final Destination 2 and 5 combination, but more fun. That's what the beginning was. It was part 2 and 5 combined. If you think about the opening things. Yo Mama, the Coke Machine attack.
Yo Mama.
The whole mama, the Coke machine scene, and the kid rolled.
Yeah.
I dig the attack music. That
Well, that was a total Psycho ripoff, but yeah.
It's cool though. I dig it. I really dig it.
When
The scene of all the dead bodies in the dog. What's that?
I love how they put it in with a gas shoots out of. He's like blowing into the gas nozzle, and it shoots gas out. You're like, really? We need to have the Psycho music there.
Yeah, that was weird.
And of course, Dave had to bring up the dead dog.
Yeah, the dog.
I love my dead dogs.
No, I don't. I do not.
The woman strangled by the curling iron or whatever, the hair dryer.
I thought that the fact that they needed gas was kind of dumb. If they're machines that are turned on, why would they need gas though? Right?
I mean, that's it. It doesn't make any sense once you like. I mean, not even get past the first stage. Like I said, the whole point of that time machine is to say "fuck you." 70 degrees, time 10:40. Fuck you, honey. This machine just called me an asshole. For what reason? Like,
yeah.
We're gonna call this guy an asshole. That's what we're gonna do.
Right? Yeah, they're gonna take time to do that. Yeah. Shit. I don't understand why they mess with the vocals on the AC/DC song. You know what I'm talking? You know, Christian, because you had the soundtrack. Did you notice it? Like they were all. It wasn't Brian Johnson singing lead. It was like all the harmonies from the whole band were sung in his spots. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're saying. I think it was just the way that they edited the music to the soundtrack. Yeah.
But it's weird. Like they put vocals in there that weren't in the song. So they actually had the other members of the group sing the vocals instead of just the chorus. They sang the lead along with the lead singer. It was just weird the way they did it. I don't know. It was either that or it was something like that. But I know they definitely messed with the vocals. I'm like, this is different. But anyway, whatever. We all enjoyed it. That's what's important.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's shit, but fun.
Yeah. All right. B, you got some?
Yeah. Well, first up, I'll go with a horror documentary I watched called Unearthed and Untold: The Path to Pet Sematary.
I started it but didn't finish it.
Man, what a fantastic film. I love horror documentaries about the making of the film. And in this case, you know, it covers just about everything with the film. So there's really not much to talk about. But if you're a fan of Pet Sematary, even if you're somebody who's not that high on Pet Sematary, watch this documentary because you start to appreciate it when you hear everybody talking about the experience of making it. I loved hearing from all the actors, the girls who played the young daughter, because they were played by twins, and how they couldn't even sit through the premiere of the movie because they were so terrified of what was coming up. The approach they took with the kid who played Gage.
Oh, Miko Hughes.
Yeah, Miko Hughes. They had to really nurture and be very careful with filming with him. They originally wanted to go with twins, but right. I think it was Mary Lambert who really went to bat for him because they saw something special in him, and he did a terrific job. But they had to really make it a kid-friendly shoot. I mean, he was like 3 at the time. And he talks about, you know, these faint memories because he was so young, but he has like these faint memories, and they tell a funny story about how he had to pretend to eat Fred Gwynn's face at the end, and they filmed the scene, and then Fred Gwynn starts screaming and gurgling, you know, to get the shot. And Mika like starts crying and screaming. They're like, "Oh my God, we traumatized this kid." There's a lot of cool little stories, you know, Stephen King, you know, having his cameo in there, and basically the whole idea to shoot in Maine. It was really just a great, entertaining horror documentary. Definitely recommend checking it out. It made me actually appreciate Pet Sematary more. I like Pet Cemetery, but I might love it now.
Did it just focus on the first film? Sorry, Brandon.
Just the first one.
Just
yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
cool.
they talked to the guy who everybody's pretty much in except Fred Gwynn because obviously he passed. But they talked to the guy who played Zelda, and a lot of talk about him and that iconic scene because everybody just is terrified of that scene still to this day.
The best scene in the movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm not as high in that movie as some, but I can appreciate it for sure.
I'm with you. I don't think I'm as high on the movie either, but after watching the documentary, I feel like I want to be higher on it. But the documentary was great. You know, I definitely check it out. It's on Prime. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 for the documentary.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know what you reminded me of? I did see a movie. I just totally forgot about the Fright Night documentary. So I won't. I'll talk about that later.
I'm getting to that
Awesome.
next.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. There you go. You got another one. Cool. Okay. This one is one from that list, the 13 found footage movies that we challenge you to watch, which I've seen half of them. There's still a few more I have to track down. I think I'm 4 or 5 left that are on the list. But this one and another one, which I'll mention, have arrived recently on Shudder. And this one is Ghost Watch. And I talked about this on my found footage show. It's one on the list. But there's 51 movies on that list now officially from my challenge list. And this was one of them. And I was so happy because I couldn't find it. I wanted to rewatch it when I did the found footage show. I couldn't find it on YouTube. Couldn't find it anywhere. So I was like, shit. And then it popped up on Shudder, so that's great. But anyway, this has only aired one time. I think this is a fantastic film because of what went into it. It's very believable. It was aired Halloween night in the UK. It's the people from the news in the BBC. They were actually doing the roles that they normally would do for newscasts and news specials and things like that. And they said, okay, we're gonna go to this house, and there's some things going on, and we're going to check it out because it's Halloween night. And it comes off so genuine. That's the beauty of the film is that it looks so genuine that it's unbelievable. I couldn't believe how good it looked. Because like I said, I've only seen it one time. And I watched it this time. I was like, man, I know why people freaked out when they watched this movie. Because they really fell for it. I mean, it's weird because some of the stuff is kind of based off the Enfield Poltergeist story. And that was later done in The Conjuring too. So I thought maybe some people catch up on that because they're from, if they're familiar with it, it was one of the most famous hauntings of that area. But not everybody's, up on that stuff. But they do it so well. They bring in a parapsychologist. They have the reporters there. They have people calling in. It's almost like a telethon. You ever see like the telethons when people are calling in and they're making donations and shit for like PBS? I used to see that when I was a kid all the time. That's what it reminded me of.
In Buffalo.
But in Buffalo.
It was always PBS in Buffalo.
Yeah, always with the telethons. That's just what it reminded me of. But they had skeptics on there. They had people almost like watching a news show with point and counterpoint, like different, politicians and things like that. And it just looks 100% realistic. There's no reason why you wouldn't think that it was real. Yeah, it does go a little bit of haywire in the third act because it is a movie. But even then, I mean, if you have any belief at all in paranormal stuff, you would buy it. So it's a fantastic film. I don't want to say too much. Spooky ending, too. It's a 9 out of 10. It's a very believable mockumentary type film. If you haven't seen this movie, I urge you to check this out. And, I mean, that it's not for real because it's a film. And it's unfortunate that I wish I was one of those people that was bunked. It may not have the same effect on you because going in. But look at it with the right eye and say, hey, the work that went into this was incredible.
And I used the left as well?
Yeah. He's a left eye Lopez. Yeah.
Going in with the right eye. Watch it with the right eye, I think is what you said. That was the best.
Yeah, I don't want you to wear a patch. Yeah. You can watch it with both eyes. Yes, please do. But yeah, 9 out of 10. Very good one. Norai the Curse is also on Shudder now. That is one that's also...
It's been up there for a little while.
Yeah, it's on my list, and a lot of people have seen it. So go check both of those films out there.
Shudder's killing it. Shudder's awesome.
They are killing it.
Yeah. You want to hear a funny story too, as a side note? So for the '86 show, I tried to get the Zero Boys. I can't find it fucking anywhere. I don't have it. I go to YouTube. There's a shit breeder copy on there. I watch it on YouTube. I go to Shudder. It's on fucking Shudder. Beautiful HD quality. I'm like, why don't So I just learned how to filter through Shudder a bit more. I go on my computer now. I just list all. Just give me everything you've got on there. And I wrote a list of everything I want to watch because I hate their categories are weird.
Yeah.
And JP did mention it in the last show, but their categories are weird. They just need a simpler system somehow. The search doesn't always bring up a movie. You write 0 in a search, that should come up, no question. But it doesn't always work that way. So, but just a funny story of just watching a shit copy just to get it watched for the show, only to find out that a perfect version was on the paid service that I'm paying for.
Right. You're only paying for it. Right. That's funny. They got to work out some kinks still, Shutter. And I have the Amazon version, and that's different from the version on the computer. And some things are available on the computer and not there. It's just weird the way they do certain things. But
yeah, I have the Amazon
whatever.
one too, and I didn't realize until you guys had said it that they're different from the other one. I'm sure they'll eventually work it all out and have just one common shutter.
It's bullshit because they deny it. Because before I bought it, I mentioned it to them on their Facebook page. I go, I heard that so-and-so, some movies that are available on the computer aren't available on the app through Amazon. They go, no, it's all the same. So they completely lied to me. But whatever. You can't complain because the price is right and the selection's great. We talked about it last show. So,
absolutely.
Whatever. Okay, what's up? What do we got?
All right. Well, I guess my next one from 86 is going to be Breeders. This was a first-time watch for me. I mean, this is a cheap, goofy, but it's actually a somewhat watchable monster flick.
Mm-hmm.
It's still overall, I said horrible. Maybe that's a strong word. It's still bad, but it had a couple of good gory moments. I said, including an exploding head, so it can't all be that bad, and a lot of skin. So I said, I think every woman in the movie gets naked. And
this was on that challenge list that I did, that 100 obscure movie list.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah. And it has like a super low rating on the B. Yeah. It's like a 3.2 rating, but I found it better than that.
Yeah, and I rated it. I go, this may be so bad it's good, and I gave it a reasonable rating. I said it was a 4 out of 10, but it was totally watchable I actually said it was one of the better ones, like compared to like some of those like I said, Spine and Nightmare Weekend and all that shit, Spookies. This was at least kind of goofy and fun.
Yeah.
Right on. So I didn't watch it, so I can't say.
Wow.
So what's your rating? What do you got?
Oh, it was a 4 out of 10. I said 4 out of 10.
I apologize.
Yeah. I said fucking 4 out of 10. Did you?
I said 4 out of 10, prick.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. Okay.
Open
all
your
right.
ears, jackass.
Open your fucking ears, jackass. Nice. Let me speak to Brett Weir. Okay, anyway.
Is it me or
all right, B.
It's me.
Yeah, it's you.
You know what? I was gonna do 4, but I'm gonna combine 2 of them into one, and you'll know why in a sec. Because I recently went back and revisited the Chrome Dome films. The Blade to Rest, the Chrome Skull films.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been seeing a lot of people talking about rewatching and their ratings dropping, and you know what? My ratings dropped severely. Not as severely as 22 Shots ratings.
Yeah, man, that show was crazy.
But you can see the errors. I used to be super high on these in terms of rating. I used to have the first one at a 9 and the second one at like an 8, 8.5.
Wow, man.
My ratings have come down. But let me just say, for the first film, it's still really, really enjoyable. And that's because some of the acting is really good. I love Kevin Gage's characters, Tucker, and Sean Whalen's character, Steve. They really carried the film. The lead girl, her acting isn't great, but you still root for her. There's also a small appearance by Lena Headey as Kevin Gage's wife. She's from Game of Thrones. I love Chrome Skull as a killer. I love the look of the mask. I love his choice of weapon. It's brutal. The CGI does look a little shoddy now, but it's still fun. You know, he's got this sort of fetish of killing these women and then sending the videos to the police. So there's that whole montage at the beginning where you're sort of seeing the after effects of everything that he's done. It has a small cameo in it by Lucas Till, who now plays MacGyver on TV. He was the store clerk who gets his head blown off. The ending of the film, the ending of the film taking place in a convenience store, really well done. It's sort of like becomes almost like a self-contained movie for like the final act, and I enjoy it. And it has a little bit of a downbeat ending, which is good, but it leaves it wide open for a sequel. You know, not knowing at the time that a sequel's coming, you're like, they're definitely going to be doing a sequel. And that gets you excited because I enjoyed The Killer so much. Now, in terms of my rating, like I said, I used to be at a 9. It's nowhere near that. I still give it a 7.5, but my enjoyment rating is still just as high as it used to be. I still enjoy this film just as much now watching it as I did then, but looking at it with a more critical eye, CGI is a little off. The acting is a little hit and miss. There are some scenes that drag a little, but like I said, the good acting and the good characters in the film save it. And of course, the killer being so menacing.
That was the first one?
That was for the first one. For the second one, and we've talked about loving this in horror films, picks right back up where part one left off. The one thing they did do is they replaced the lead girl from part one. But it doesn't matter because she's got a very small role in part two. It gets more into what's actually going on with Chrome Skull. At the end of part one, you think they kill him. At the beginning of part two, these almost seem like government agents come in, save him, bring him back to life, only he's severely disfigured. And you find out that they're actually it's like a corporation that basically works for him, setting up these scenarios where he gets to torture these women. And Danielle Harris has a small part in it. Brian Austin Green plays the second in command who sort of wants to take the lead. He kind of wants to take over for Chrome Skull because he's so disfigured. He's like, oh, he's going to die anyway. I'm going to take over as the new Chrome Skull. So he starts donning the mask and going out and killing. And so it's like a showdown between two Chrome Skulls all at the same time while he's obviously trying to get the first girl from the first movie. And then when she disappears, he gets another girl who happens to be deaf. And the actor from the first one comes back. He's helping the police out. It's got cool kills in this one. I actually like the kills maybe a little bit better in this one because they have different weapons made up. You see like a whole lab where they're creating new weapons. Like Brian Austin Green is like, no, let's do it like this. He's actually like drawing design. It looks like Jigsaw's like lair.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cool.
I got that a little.
Yeah, and again, the ending for this one, felt a little. I don't want to say rushed, but like once it ended, I was like, okay, they're gonna do another one. But it had been a while. But I think I recently read that they are doing a third one. But if you stay for after the credits at the end, there is a backstory, and again, a little bit Saw-esque with Chrome Skull's wife, where she's being brought in by the police and being told what's going on. So it's almost like introducing the Jill character. I guess that's why I like this. Well, it's not a franchise yet, but like these films as much as I do because they kind of remind me a little bit of Saw. They're bloody, they're gory, they're fun. There is some nonsense going on, but it's enjoyable. And for part two, like I said, I was probably up there in the 8 range. Again, I dropped it down a full point, and I'm at a 7 for that one. But again, enjoyment factor, I could watch these two over and over. I really could. It's just from a technical standpoint, I recognize that they're not near flawless films that I had thought they were.
I thought I only watched them for the first time, both of them, since we started recording this podcast. Because I remember you guys, and I think just hearing it in some of the other podcasts I was listening to, were speaking very highly of the film. So I figured I'd check them out. And I remember I enjoyed both of them. I don't remember what I rated them. I enjoyed both of them. I do recall the acting being spotty.
Yeah.
And that does affect me. I'm not very forgiving of bad acting.
It usually doesn't bother. I was going to say, it usually doesn't bother me, but especially in the first one, you get really 2 great performances, especially out of Kevin Gage. It's a really terrific performance, and him interacting with the lead girl, she's just not strong at all, that it shows even more. It's one thing if they're all not good actors. If it's all sort of amateurs, it blends together. But I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, I do it all the time. And then the other thing was I found it both of them are kind of flatly directed. Nothing, some great stuff, great effects, but kind of just sort of flatly, like whether it be directed or if it was the cinematography that was
it's something
off.
about the looks of these films. They have that early 2000 look. I don't know what it is, just they're like darker looking almost.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
going
even
by
know.
memory now too. So
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. You
I get it.
Moods, Dave, you guys like can look at a film and be like, oh, it's the color palette of it and something. It looks like it's from that time period, from that 10, 15 years ago, even though it's actually only like 8 years ago. But it looks a little older than it should.
what was the story with the girl? They were married, or was she just didn't want to return for a sequel? Or she was horrible, they didn't want her back.
She really was bad in the first one. I really feel like they probably offered it to her. I don't know why I'm making this up. I have no idea, but
He's assuming.
Tell me a story.
I'm about to give you a story that's not even real. Oh my God, they offered her the part.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great. I'll tell you what. I watched these two movies for the first time ever because 22 Shots covered them. Because it's funny because everything I'm going to talk about from now to the end of the Triple R's is stuff I watched because other podcasts covered them.
Oh, so you haven't seen this before?
No, I never saw it.
Oh, I thought maybe it was just Brandon that was blowing them.
It was me. But obviously, them doing the show recently got me in the mood to rewatch it, especially after they were saying about how they didn't hold up.
Sorry, Dave. Yeah.
No, it's cool. I'll tell you what. For me, they were both 6.5 out of 10. Same rating. They both had the same things going for them. I thought part 2 did what I liked about part 2 is that it kind of explained away some of the issues I had with part 1. Because part 1 there was things going on. I'm like, there's no way this could happen plot wise. But then with the things they did in part 2 explained that there was assistance going on. And there's something else behind this, and that made part 1. It boosted it a little bit. I was like, oh, okay. And it also made part 2. It boosted that, even though it's in itself. But I was like, okay, this serves to do this. So part 2, I guess there are some technical things that are not quite as good as the first one, I guess. The kills aren't exactly as good, but they're pretty much along in the same vein. And I was cool with them. And they're just a couple of dumb slashers going there and see some good kills. And 6.5 out of 10. So that's where I stand with them both.
Cool.
So I guess I'm on my triple R. Okay, there you go. I have not seen this movie I had this on VHS when it first came out when I was a kid. Used to really like the film. When it was released to DVD, it was not the unrated version. The VHS I had was unrated. When it came to DVD, it was not. It was R-rated. And what a difference, because all the good gore was cut, and I vowed never to watch it again until it came out unrated. Well, it finally came out unrated. Vestron Video released a Blu-ray for Waxwork 1 and 2. I don't really care about 2. I was never a fan, but I was always into part 1. And I watched part 1, and I'll tell you what, it holds up just great. Cheesy, 80s, fun, great kills, great concept. I don't know if it's nostalgia for me or not, but I don't think it is. I think it's a good quality movie from the 80s. I enjoy the film. It doesn't get enough talk, but I enjoy the hell out of it, and it's 8 out of 10. And there you go. Nice. That's all I got. Yeah, check it out. It's out now. It's on the Vestron label. The Blu-ray is out. It recently dropped on Shudder, but I don't know if it's the right version. And you'll know right away, because the first kill with the werewolf, when the werewolf grabs the guy, he rips him in half. Right. Yeah. In the cut version, as soon as he rips, it cuts away. I mean, that's why I hated it when it came to DVD. It was obvious cutaways.
Oh, the vampire scene is totally destroyed in the R-rated version. In the unrated version, there's a whole sequence with him, and you see his leg gnawed right down to the bone.
Yeah.
And it's non-existent in the R-rated version. And I like part 2 as well. I love the Bruce Campbell sequence in that. I love both those movies. I love is a strong word. I really enjoy both of those movies.
What would you give part 1? Because do you think 8 out of 10? I'm coming in pretty high. I've always liked it that much.
I find part 1, I love until it kind of gets to I love the first 2 acts.
The third act,
and then the third act kind of loses me.
That's what I thought too. But guess what? This time when I watched it, it was only really the last 10 minutes. It wasn't the whole third act. It was just,
It's almost an overstay its welcome.
Yes, I always had that feeling, and it does a little bit, but not enough to deter everything else good about the movie. The practical effects, the feel of the teens. It's not a slasher, of course. It's almost a creature feature, but it's, you know what it is. Most people know what it is.
Oh, and I think I was at 7.5, 8. Sorry, Dave, but 7.5, 8, and then the same rating. I had the exact same rating for part 2. In fact, part 2 felt like a bigger movie, a vaster movie. Now it goes more action oriented. It's almost like Anthony Hitchcock said, "Oh my God, I'm going to go Evil Dead 2 like style, or Army of Darkness almost." Even though just like I have more money, I'm just going to make it bigger or whatnot. Even though I think they actually had less money, if I remember JP's Vestron episode on that. I think he said part 2 had less money, but yet it feels bigger budgeted and looks bigger budgeted than the first movie. Funny enough. So I thought you could go. At one point, I was an Anthony Hitchcock's fanboy. I liked Waxwork 1 and 2. I liked Full Eclipse. And that made me very excited about Hellraiser 3, and I was very forgiving of Hellraiser 3 as well. And he also did Sundown, that Western vampire movie that was hard to find. And I actually didn't mind that as well. And there's another one I'm forgetting. I think he did the first Warlock. No, Steve Miner did the first Warlock. I think Anthony Hitchcock did the second. Yeah.
What the fuck? Wow.
So something like that. But at one point, and then he just stopped making movies, it seemed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, always been a fan of those two movies. Fun movies.
Right now. I have very vague recollections of 2, and I didn't watch it, and I have it here, but I haven't. I just remember being let down, and I never watched it again, and I never went back to it. But part 1, I think, is a great film.
All right, I don't think I talked about this one. I did mention it way back when. It was one of the first slashers I watched for '86, and it was called Terror at Tenkiller. I believe we mentioned it, but I don't think I actually did my full review. I don't remember. If I did, I apologize, guys. But this is a subpar slasher that starts generically, falls apart about 30 minutes in, as we see the killer Tor in all of his glory. So I go, we get a decent enough setup, a few teases of boobs, really dark kill scenes, a very poor soundtrack, and bad acting. It opens with a requisite kill, which is unfortunately a bad slit throat, and then there's a pool shower scene. Every shot feels like it lingers on too long before and after the action of the scene. You know, when it cuts and then the action starts, then the action ends and you're still on the shot? That's kind of where I'm going with it there. We are then introduced to a few girlfriends. One has an abusive boyfriend, Josh, who spouts out red herring lines every word he makes, or every sentence he says. The girls decide to head out for a peaceful weekend at Tenkiller Lake, hence the dumb name for the movie, where we meet the killer 15 minutes in. You assume it's another red herring, but less than 15 minutes later, we see him kill. And then the movie tries to set up more red herrings, like Preacher, but we've already seen the damn killer in action, so you're like, why did they bother doing this now? and they do. And then I go, there's a cool arm slicing scene and stabbing, but really nothing else. And I mean nothing. I go, this drags on with one uninteresting dialogue scene after another, followed by one more day at the lake after another. That is until the abusive boyfriend comes to try to save the day. Unfortunately, he doesn't, and Tor drowns in the lake. Or does he? Trust me, any of us can make a better movie up at the cottage with an iPhone.
And we will.
Yeah. Done and done. 2 out of 10.
Never heard a good thing about this film. Never. And I own this film on like a double pack DVD, and I've never watched it because nobody has ever said anything decent. That might be the highest rating I've ever heard for it.
And I hovered around the 1. The reason I gave it a 2 is because slashers are generic. So give me some. And I thought they did some good stuff. I thought they did some good stuff with the setting at the beginning, a little bit after the opening kill. And I was like, you know what? I might be into this. I might enjoy this. And nope, it just kills itself like 15 minutes in. You're like, nope, wrong. And then it's tedious from that point on.
I gotta tell you something.
You liked it.
I never saw it. But you said something about slashers, and I want to make a statement since I'm not going to do them on my triple R's. I just might end up doing them for the Patreon because the longer time goes on, the more I'm going to forget, and I'm not going to get to them on triple R's. So I should do something with it because most of them aren't going to make my top 50. But I've been hitting them real hard lately, and I'm just going to say that what you said about slashers, most of them are what? What was the word you used?
No,
tedious?
No, not tedious. I said generic. I said like
generic. Okay.
Yeah. I think, well, what I mean by that, let me clarify then. There's a formula. There's a specific formula that we're looking for within that. But what we want, or what I want, maybe I'm talking for too many people. What I want is I want people to play with the conventions within that. So set it up as a slasher, but then do something different, like play around with what our expectations. Right. So where we're going with it back in the 80s, they didn't really do that. They followed, for the most part, the formula to a T. The downfall is you get bad kills, bad acting, dark scenes. And this has all of that.
Yeah, I'll never watch it. I don't watch every slasher. I'm watching. I'm almost at 80 now for slashers. I'm hitting it. I've watched 20 since I last talked to you guys. So I'm watching a lot. But here's what I've noticed. I'm just gonna whip off these titles quick and tell you that everything here is between a 5, and I created a new rating. I created
a new number?
A new number. I have created
a 612.
Yeah.
A 6.7. No, a 6.75. Because I have so many movies that are at a 6.5 and movies that are at a 7 that the 6.75s have a good shot at making the bottom end of the top 50, where I know the 6.5 still. There's a difference between certain ones. So instead of putting them in order and saying they're all 6.5, but I like these ones more than these, I have a half a dozen 6.75s, and they'll probably be in the bottom end. But all I'm saying is that these, something works about them, that they all fall. I'm watching all these slashers. This is what I love about slashers, that I have not really seen really many bad ones. Like here, I'm just going to read off these titles quick. Dark Ride, Night School, Humongous, Rites of Spring, Silent Scream, Bloody Movie, Eyes of a Stranger, Hide and Go Shriek, Simon Says, Mountaintop Motel Massacre, Cutting Class, Chain Letter. Every one of these movies is between a 5 and a 6.75. Every one of them. That's what it is about. This is what I figured out. This is why I love slashers. Because I'm fine watching a bunch of movies that I can rate 6 out of 10 if they're a slasher, and they're in that area, and it just seems that the subgenre of slasher has the most of them. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. I just it popped in my head, and I wanted to bring it up on the show. And you said something about slashers, so.
And I'll add one other thing to what you said. Brandon will give you 6.75 in your bottom end.
Well, that's why I stood up, because I took a 6.75.
But do you see why I have
I wrote that down. That's the fucking worst part of it.
Thanks for giving me that extra 2 inches.
You're welcome.
But yeah, the 6.75 had to be created. There's just some movies that I don't
no one else has ever created this before. Dave was the first one.
Nobody's ever thought to put these three numbers together.
I came up 6.75.
I mean, created.
Dave Z.
Okay, it had to be utilized for the purpose of the top 50 list. Is that a better terminology for you? That's all I meant. That so many movies are 6.5, and some movies I just don't feel like putting at that 7. When I think of a 7, I had to create something in between 6.5, not create.
Create anything. You just put 3 numbers together that's slightly lower than 7.
Which I think fucking Watson's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
It's sliding scale.
Jason Lloyd, I think, does it too. Yeah. People do this.
Yeah. But we're taking full credit from this moment forward. Dave Z created it.
You created it. In fact, that should be a donation. They could give $6.75, and they get to create whatever they want on the show since you created that number.
We're like the Steve Jobs of podcasts.
I love it.
Apple. The Apple of podcasts.
The rating for my personal use for the first time ever. That's what I mean. I came up with. I've never used that rating before, but I had to for this particular reason. It became part of my rating system. It was implemented into the system. Therefore, I created it for my own purposes. I don't know. I didn't mean to sound pompous. Just say something, Brandon.
Did you hear the new Exploded Heads episode? Dave Z just created a new rating. What 6.75? What? Yeah. I'm donating to the Patreon now.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Fucking amazing. You're up, B.
I don't want to follow that.
Say one more. Oh, God.
All right, my last R is the documentary You're So Cool, Brewster, the story of Fright Night.
Nice.
Did you create this?
No, but I created my rating for it, and you'll see when we get to it. I created a new number.
8.25, I bet.
A new number.
No, this is a new number.
He's like a fucking mathematician.
3.5 hours of straight up interviews and behind the scenes footage of Fright Night. Now they do show some clips at the beginning from Fright Night 2, so you think you're going to get that, but you don't, which is fine with me because I didn't want that. I wanted to focus strictly on Fright Night. And if it is possible to love and adore a film even more after watching a documentary about it, then this would be the documentary that did it for me, because this was just phenomenal.
Here.
Hearing everybody talk about this film was like hearing them in person. I was lucky enough to meet Amanda Bierce and Stephen Jeffries, and they did a Fright Night panel, and they spoke so highly of Tom Holland, of Roddy McDowall, of Chris Sarandon, of everybody involved with the film, even small supporting characters. And then in the documentary, it's more of the same. They're speaking so highly of the experience. And the best part of this film, besides obviously hearing the actors talk about how much they've embraced this film and embraced the fandom that it's created, because everybody is pretty much doing the convention circuit now, and it's strictly for this film, even though these actors and actresses have gone on to have successful careers. They're all still working and they're all still relevant, but the behind the scenes effects, the craziness of what went into these effects, and the sort of reckless abandon that they used with these. I mean, they were practically like almost blinding each other shooting some of these scenes with chemicals that would never be allowed today. And it was just amazing. Talking about the transformation scenes, we talk about the and it's one of my favorite transformation scenes, the American Werewolf in London. And in this one, and I never even looked at it that way, but it's a reverse transformation. It's a full-on wolf to a werewolf back to a human. And hearing them just talk about it and showing how they did it, it was just, it's amazing. It's so worth your time. I would have watched this all in one sitting had it not been like 3 a.m. when I was like halfway through and I gotta go to sleep. The movie, I don't think anybody, would be surprised. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. And the documentary is a 10.125. No, the documentary is a 10 out of 10. This is a perfect documentary to accompany a perfect film. It really is. The only thing, like I said, with Pet Sematary, not having Fred Gwynne because he had passed away. Roddy McDowall obviously passed away, so he was in this one. He was killed by a monkey, I think, in real life.
I agree, 100%. I had to watch it in 2 sittings too. I started before, and then I finished it off, and that's why as soon as you started talking about a Pet Sematary documentary, I'm like, holy shit! How did I forget that I watched the Fright Night one? And what a treat! Absolute treat.
Amazing.
Pretty much, I echo exactly what you said. Fun movie.
Oh my! It's so good. I loved it. I really did.
And what I was going to say is that the guy that does the Roddy McDowall parts is spot on. He's spot on in the movie. Like,
I forgot.
He does a great job.
The faux Peter Vincent character and
rolling the R's.
He's hilarious. Yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah, it's terrific. Right.
I feel bad because I feel I missed out on something because I didn't grow up with this movie and everybody holds it up so high. I wish I would have saw. I wish I could have got past the name when I was young, or somebody would have said, "Oh, let's run it anyway, Dave." But it didn't happen because I feel like I'm missing out on something. Even that expression, that line, I should say, "You're so cool, Brewster," falls on deaf ears with me. But all you guys know what it is, and it's like something you hold high. And I of course, I respect it being a film fan and a horror fan about shit like that. I should have watched the movie. I'm gonna watch it again, and then I'm gonna watch that doc. But I feel I missed out. I just couldn't get past the damn name. You know what I was thinking the other day? I was listening to a podcast, 2 podcasts in the same week, and they brought up a movie called Super Troopers, and they were talking about it. Same fucking thing. Such a stupid sounding name. I could never watch that movie. Super Troopers. It sounded like a 6-year-old little boy would fucking say. I don't know. It just.
But it's a funny, goofy
it's a
film.
funny movie.
It might be.
It is.
But the name just turned me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Well.
Wow, how the fuck did it get by me? Wow.
Yeah, man,
anyway.
That's the guys, Broken Lizard. The guys that did Club Dread.
Yeah.
Did the name, just seeing the name when it came out, turned me off. Same thing with it. Just the name when the 2 words rhyme, it just reminds you of something very kiddie, and it just always turned me off. And damn it, I feel bad for missing out on the Fright Night train because I see how much you guys love it, But I'm gonna watch it. And I'm gonna watch the thing again. But check it out.
Definitely.
Breaking news. I just got a message sent to me from Rob Kopensky. You know who that is? I know you know him. B.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Christian, you probably know him, but he listen to 22 Shots. Anyway, he just sent me a message. Just got it now. That's why I was distracted for about a minute before because I was like, what the hell is this? But I looked, And this is what it says. So I'm listening to the 86 show, and you remember the spiel you were giving on The Hitcher. So I decided to watch it tonight with my wife. And I kid you not, about halfway through, my wife is like, why are we watching this? It's so unbelievable. It's stupid. I thought I was listening to you all over again. It was absolutely hilarious. Just had to share.
So my wife's name is Nikki.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did he beat his wife?
See, it's her first time. She's seeing it with the right eye and the left eye for the first time, with no nostalgia, no nothing, as an adult, watching it and saying the same thing I said. So it's not just me.
Fuck this breaking news. I thought he had the Tom Savini fucking thing. I thought he had grand illusions.
It's never gonna happen. You had a grand illusion. You're having illusions the whole fucking story. I'm having illusions. That's your new theme song.
I can't wait to validate this. I am gonna fucking be so happy. So very happy.
I am too. I'm gonna be happy for you. I will. But yeah, thanks, Rob and Nikki. Her name is Nikki. So yes. I'm having illusions. All this confusion's making me mad inside. Okay. Fucking me up in my mind. Okay.
That's pretty funny though.
I'm gonna say one thing. This is my last triple R, right? I'm not even gonna pre it because it's gonna sound long. But I watched this movie for the first time since it dropped on VHS when I was a kid because Kill the Cash was covering it. And damn it, I couldn't stop watching these movies, right? I watched Puppetmaster for the first time in years since it dropped on VHS.
And what do you mean? You couldn't stop watching them? You started going through the whole series?
I did. And let me tell you
After 3, they're horrible.
Well, hold on. I'm going to say what I got to say. Part 1 was good. Part 1 was good. I like all the friggin'
Barbara Crampton.
I like the dolls are cool as fuck. I'll tell you right now, the stop motion, the way it's done, the creativity of the dolls, I would actually collect them. When I had the money, I would totally have Blade and Tunneler and fucking, and then I think they're cool as fuck.
I know why you want Tunneler.
Ben Bummer.
Why does he smell funny?
What the fuck?
Sounds like a dentistry.
Part 1 is the best. Part 1 is the best. I've heard people say 3 is the best. Part 1 is definitely, I really enjoyed it. I'm not going crazy about it, but I enjoyed the movie. It has, a lot of things you want in a horror movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. Then I watched Part 2 because I loved the dolls so much I wanted to see more of it. So I said, okay, I'm going to continue on. And so I watched Part 2. Very run-of-the-mill. Wasn't into the meaning behind it, and it just coming right after 1. It just, you could tell it's a drop down. I give it a 5.5 out of 10. Then I watched 3, and I had high expectations because everybody's raved about 3. And I watched 3, and I liked it. The thing is, I love Blade, and I like that he gets his big moment like the last 10 minutes of the film. But the whole movie, I'm like, where the fuck is Blade? Because he's my favorite one. He's cool, I was like, where's Blade? What's going on here?
Love Wesley Snipes.
I enjoyed it. It's a period piece, so I'm not always the biggest into the period pieces. But it was still good. I would still give it a 6 out of 10. Visual kisses.
Angel kisses.
Oh,
you said period piece.
Oh, for Christ. Nice. But 3, I liked it. 6 out of 10. And then I continued on with 4 because I hadn't had my fill. After 4, I've had my fill. I went to the 4. It's not bad. I rated the same as I rated Part 2. I give it a 5.5 out of 10. It wasn't terrible. It's just average stuff, but not on the par of the first one. And 3 did a decent job. So there you go. That's all I got. Puppetmaster 1 through 4. But they're on. 3 and 4 are on Shudder. 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are on Hulu. And then all the rest of them are on Shudder or Prime, one of the two. But whatever.
Nice.
So yeah, check them
It's
out.
been a while since I watched those. I might go back and check a couple of them out.
It's fun. It's dumb fun at bedtime. Yeah, I put it on. I watch the dolls. I like the stop motion. I like the kills.
The dolls. I put the dolls on.
I do. I like the puppets.
Come here, Tumbler.
Hey, look at these fucking ghouly. Yeah. I love these fucking ghouly Muppets. Look at these little bastards.
Some people use gerbils. I use the fucking puppet masters.
They're cool, dude. I mean, even the girl with the fucking leech woman, when she spits the leeches, that's fucking badass. It
Yeah.
never looks really fake. I mean, obviously, I know that they're puppets and dolls, but the way it's done, it looks good.
It's not obvious
There's-
that you know that they're puppets and dolls.
It's got a fucking
You know what I
puppet
mean? Though,
master.
it looks good. It's not fucking. It doesn't. I don't know. I thought it was
I'm
gonna look
telling you,
stupid, and I like the way they look.
The full moon movies at the beginning, I kind of was into. I watched the first 4 or 5 Puppet Masters, and then I actually went back and watched like a couple years ago, watched like 10 or whatever they were up to at that point. It was horrible. It was like direct to video. It was garbage. But then I also remember loving Demonic Toys. I watched Doll Man, and then they did a smash up of those with Doll Man versus Demonic Toys, which I remember being entertaining, stupid but fun. Ish.
I love how animated he is.
Yeah.
That should wrap it up with triple R's. Unless you want something, unless you want to do something else quick, Christian, for your
No,
86s.
I'm good. I'm good.
Tap.
I had more notes, but I mean, at the end of the day, we've talked about the films here and there, so I'm good.
You got it out of your system for now.
I'm happy.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do this thing real quick for our for the giveaway. We have 3 things to give away, so it's between the numbers of 1 and.
3.
Hold on. No, not 1.
I'll take 2.
Not 1 and 3. We have 60 US, we have 10 Patreon, and we have 12 outside of the US. So 60, 70, we have 82. So I'm going to put this in between 1 and 82, and we're going to do this.
Is 6.75 an option?
Let's see if it comes up. I got it on. All right, generate. Let's see.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
That was
Very
perfect
good.
timing.
24.
24. We all saw it, everybody.
We did.
24. Let me look at it and see who the hell it is. All right. 24. Give me
Jim
1 second.
K. No.
Jim K from Toronto.
Maybe knowledgeable and funny. Frederick Michael Voorhees. Give this podcast a listen if you like horror movies and a dose of comedy. All 3 hosts know their stuff. There you go. So
Sounds like a fake name.
yeah.
What are the odds of having a name like that?
So there you go. So contact us. Generate again between 1 and 82.
Boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop.
27.
27.
Just count 3 more from Frederick, Michael, Chucky.
Thank you. You're right. 25, 26. Hey, it's Freeze.
Hey, Donanelli. You win a Pantera CD. The best of.
Nice. Very good. And we've read his before because that's how we came up with the Don Freeze Anelli. So that's one I don't have
Yeah,
to.
he's won before. I sent
Yes.
him some stuff.
Oh, there you go. Well, see, lucky Don. All right, and one more for the road. Generate.
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep.
17.
17. Why don't we put the names in and this way we just get a random name instead of a random number?
Next time I will. Jeez. I'll do
Jesus,
This is from Fred. Fred the Wolf. Great show for horror fans. I miss the old Banana Laser, but Exploding Heads is a great successor to the throne. I love the concept of reviewing an old film and a new film. Wow, it's the right show today.
Yeah.
With Dave Z, Brandon, and Christian providing some great info and insight on each. Definitely recommended. If you want to relive films with cool people who know what they're talking about and or learning about new ones worth checking out. So there you go. Guys. Contact us. Send us a message. Do what you got to do. Prizes coming your way. We'll
Fred
do
the
it again
Wolf.
when we get
Fred the Wolf.
So, boom, that was nice and quick. Thank you. Okay,
Good.
so, ready for feature?
This is it, our last review of the night.
And the movie in question is Among the Living.
Did you know that was an
What you
Anthrax
got?
song?
Shut up.
What?
And it's an album. Among the Living is their second studio album. Check it out. Great song. Great
Yeah,
album.
so Among the Living, 2014, directed by Alexandra Bustillo and Julian Mori, the folks who brought us Inside, Livid, a segment of ABC's of Death, and about to bring us Leatherface. Three kids skip school in order to explore an abandoned film studio lot where they catch sight of a woman being dragged across the lot by a masked man.
Which is not true at all.
Not in that way, no. Right.
They see her in a trunk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
but that's fine. Yeah.
At least it says abandoned film studio. I think I read somewhere where it said abandoned amusement park, and I was like, that's not an amusement park. It's a film studio. It's the
Old film
Blackwoods Film
studio,
Studio.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't, it's weird. We do jump all over the place with films, but I'm gonna say with this one, and I'll tie it into the first act, is that I felt like this movie was 3 films in one almost. It didn't know what it wanted to be. It had elements. The opening act is elements of like Inside, where it's going to be like a straight up like gore film, and then it has elements of just like a TV drama almost, and then it has elements of a supernatural film. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just felt like it needed to be more cohesive. But I did like the opening, apart from a few shoddy CGI moments. I thought the gore in Inside was so much better. The effects in this one, you could tell, just looked very fake.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the effects. I thought the opening was interesting. I thought maybe they tried to go a little Inside-esque with the stabbing of the pregnant body and the slit neck, and I thought the slit neck was like a half a slit neck. And
I you know what? I like the half a slit neck. I actually said to myself, wow, finally somebody who cuts half their neck and is like, holy shit, this hurts, I'm dying, versus somebody who's able to slit from ear to ear.
True enough. And then it's funny, like they always seem to go up and they're like, I'm going to do this in full force, and then she ends up doing it very slow.
Yeah.
But the opening is interesting, and you're like, it kind of is like, what the fuck is going on here? But I like that dialogue. I like that whole setup of we're gonna get a new life and a new family, and we're going to live among the living. And funny enough, though, on IMDb they say a more accurate translation of the French title would be "In the Eyes of the Living," or "Through the Eyes of the Living."
Yeah,
which I thought was interesting to read. I thought that was a cool
little read that too.
Tidbit of information. Did you guys
I'm gonna have questions?
Okay, in the opening part, you have questions already?
No, I'm gonna have questions when we get to spoilers, because right away with the beginning and something that happens, I'll try to say without even spoiling it. First of all, let me say one thing. It's interesting the way the movie Inside ended and the way this movie began, and the actress involved. Yeah. It's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, the same actress. It is kind of funny.
Beatrice.
And she must be pregnant in real life.
Oh yeah, did you see her feet? Her feet were
she was big
swollen
all around.
Yeah, and her feet were swollen as hell. I was like, damn, that's a big woman.
I'm not necessarily saying I'm not saying that this is a bad thing, but this is a very straightforward film. Yes or no? I don't think there's a lot of depth.
It's a straightforward film that could have had a lot more depth.
I'm confused by it still, so I don't know how straightforward it is.
I'm not confused by it at all, because I think it was so straightforward. The problem was everything just happens too conveniently, and I think maybe that's what you have the questions for. But that's the problem. It was set up, slam cut to kids that are, you get to know the kids a bit. They're friends. It turns into Stand By Me almost. There's some beautiful shots.
That's actually my favorite part of the film is the segment with the kids. I actually wish the film had kind of stayed in that type of atmosphere versus jumping around between being a gore film and even kind of exploring supernatural elements. Obviously, at the beginning of the film, we get an explanation of what's going on with the government, with the germ warfare. I think that they talk about.
They allude to it. They don't just allude to it. They
talk about weapons being used on their own soldiers and mutations in DNA and sexual deformities and mental conditions. So it gives you enough, because I went back. I actually watched this twice, and so I was really paying attention to the beginning, knowing what was being said was actually important in regards to one of our characters, Clarence.
Listen, I'm confused. Okay, let me try to say without spoil. I think I can do without spoiling. In the beginning, when we see what happens, and when we see the woman walk in the room, and she says, I put up with your stench for 4 years, and the whole nine about that person's name is Clarence, correct? The person that she's bitching about?
Yes.
Okay, now, when one of the persons in question Pardon me. Well, we already gave it away because we said this, the throat is slit. Okay. When the other individuals in that household leave it, from the shot I saw, you would think that there were 3.
There are 3.
Yeah, they took the baby out.
Then what the fuck is happening later on in the movie when I only see 2?
No, the baby's in the jar on the table in the underground bunker.
No.
So
okay.
it's just in a jar, you're telling me?
Yeah,
for the
well,
rest
it's
of the
dead.
film?
It's dead.
I don't get that at all. Okay, maybe
we'll talk
I'll
about
tell
it
you.
in spoilers. Okay,
Oh
then.
fuck, man! No, I got a.
Unless you could say it without spoiling, go ahead.
No, I can't, and that's the problem. Like this
Okay.
the movie's not a long movie, and it's so funny that you said that, Brandon. I came across with a totally different rendition of everything.
Oh, you see
I
it
have
in
no
the
clue.
underground hatch when the kids go down there, right on the table.
Okay,
when
I almost want to go into spoilers right now because I got to
Okay, let's
spoil it
wait.
because I think we slam cut and we're now like 10 years in the future, like after
we're
that
actually
opening scene.
we're actually 2 years later.
Only 2 years.
Yes.
Only 2 years.
Then
Only 2
then-
years.
Okay, well then everything that I just thought is out the window then.
Yeah,
Because
because
at the end,
he's
when there's a
4.
kill-
He's 4 years old. Clarence is 4 years old at this, and then he's referenced as being 6 at the end of the
Correct.
movie.
Exactly.
Okay, but he looks so he's also mutating and growing at an abnormal rate because he does look like a kid in the first scene, and he's a full
Yeah.
adult later.
It's
So
sort of like
maybe
a hard-
maybe I'm not wrong in my thinking of where I thought it was going. But if you're telling me that you see the baby in a jar later, then I'm not thinking.
I thought I saw a baby in the jar, and I assumed that was the baby that he cut out of the wife because
Okay.
he's so gung ho on family. And
Well, I'll explain what I thought happened later.
I felt like this was a horror version of Jack with Robin Williams. Clarence is
never seen
aging
it.
so fast.
I'm telling you, man,
Oh,
that,
yeah.
like the kids are great, and you've got these
Terrific,
Stand By
terrific.
Me / The Goonies, as I have read about, kind of feel to the setup with them and the exploration and being a kid, and they definitely captured that feeling. There's almost Spielberg-esque shots in some of that opening, and I don't think I'm hyperbolating it here. I think there's some cool things that reminded me of movies that I grew up with that you could kind of relate back to. But ultimately, I think the parts of this movie are better than the whole, and I think that's
I
Yes,
agree.
yes, you're absolutely right about that. Man, the kids were terrific. The backstory of the kids, that they're all connected from the fact that they just have. I don't want to say all have dysfunctional families, because when we get to know Victor, the lead boy, his family is not so bad that he has, but they've all had issues with family.
Well, he says
And
that his stepdad's an alcoholic, but I think he was lying because it seems like he's a very caring guy. He wants them to look
That's
through
the thing. He said he was an alcoholic who broke his arm changing a light bulb, and he is wearing the cast, so he might have done that. But he was like a delightful stepfather. He was like,
Right. Agreed.
trying to get the kid to go through, look at the stars, and he's always like, looking out for him and wanting, and he's like, yeah, your mom's a little crazy, don't worry about it.
he was almost like
siding with
proud
the kid.
proud of what he did, that he was being rebellious. I love I don't know the actress's name or even the character's name, but that bitch teacher.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, your father's
when she said to the one boy, your father's punishments are just and fair. The one who beats him. Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Oh, what a scumbag. I loved it. I wish the whole movie had been these 3 kids together.
So
somehow.
from a plot
Yeah, but
standpoint,
it's weird.
I'm going to say from a plot standpoint, just to set up so we get that setup that we kind of spoke about, and that was like the first 10 minutes of the movie. Then you cut to these kids and you get to know the kids a bit. They skip the last day of school to avoid detention, or their last day of school, which I would have done too. Go fuck yourself, teach. I'm not coming to detention. And then they go out and they have an adventure. They go to this backwoods film studio and accidentally open up a trunk because they saw that they thought it was someone else that was looking after them, and they saw that the car had been towed there. They open up the trunk and there's a girl in there, and I think this is the plot. Like I don't think this is so they shut it. They get freaked out, and of course we get reintroduced to Clarence, and
Right.
simply by witnessing this, it goes on a bit longer, but I'm not going to go into detail. Simply by witnessing this, the decision is made that the kids must be eliminated so that they could keep their existence a secret.
Yeah, and I
ultimately
think,
that's the movie.
and it makes sense to me, and I can justify it simply because, one, this is a story almost about like the father-son relationship and the family relationship. And in this case, Clarence's father, what was his name? Did he even have a name in this, the father?
I don't
think
recall.
so.
I don't recall.
I don't think so. But he loves Clarence so much. He loves his family so much that he's Isaac. He's doing anything he can to protect him, and he found this perfect place, this abandoned lot that this is ideal, where he can, have his family and be away from society. So when that's threatened, at first I'm thinking, there's really no need, or why does he say it, given a few things that happen later on in the film? But I get it now. He's obviously doing some sort of drugs. He's always wearing that masks and inhaling smoke. I don't know what he's smoking, but he's crazy. And he just says, they'll find you, they'll take you away. They have to be eliminated. And so I get it. He's ultimately looking out for his son.
And that's the setup for the second act.
And then it turns into like 3 individual home invasion films, and it's entertaining. It really is.
It's fast paced. Yeah,
it's very fast paced.
I do have issues though. A little bit of been there, done that. Almost too much been there, done that. They fall into kind of tropey, cliche, urban legend-esque things like, I don't have a clown mask.
Well, that was an homage.
You love that? No, I thought that was
I love it too, and you were talking about Spielberg, and that's like an homage to E.T.
See,
because you even see the E.T. stuffed animal right behind the clown mask.
No, I thought it was a ripoff of the old story of the babysitters there. The babysitters watching the kids at home, and they're like, the parents call, and she's like, everything's going well, but I really hate that really creepy clown statue you have. We don't have a clown statue. And I don't know. I thought that it reeked too much of that, too similar to that almost. And
I loved it.
It did, except it was a clown mask that he left there. It wasn't an actual fake clown. It was like a sign from him saying, "You're next."
All right, cool.
So I liked it.
I can understand that, and then the old wife talking to someone in the bed.
See, I like that. I thought what followed in terms of that particular scene was a little silly. Once you get the kids and get out of the house, the fact that she's going around the house making sure the kids are still sleeping while there's an intruder in the house.
That was weird. Like, call the police, make sure everybody's okay, check on the kids. No, get the fuck out of Dodge is what you do, right? So I understand that.
Why they at a car dealership?
And why do they want to fight the guy? If I thought someone was in the house, I'm getting the fuck out of there too. I'll wait in the car or whatever.
The biggest issue for the film is the, I don't want to say inconsistencies, because there is a sort of unknown element to Clarence, but there are certain scenes. It's like, how does he know certain things? Is it part of this mutation that he's able to know where people live?
He just automatically knows who they are and where they live. It's easy. Either that's quote unquote supernatural.
He knows one because of the flyer. He gets
a scent. He obviously has powers. You see the way the fucking thing looks. It's not of this earth completely. It's a thing. You know what I mean? So that I never questioned. I was like, okay, maybe he just got their scent and that's all he needs.
You know what?
I never questioned it.
I can buy that. I can buy that. But it also an inconsistency in terms of his ability to take so much punishment and abuse, and then the next second be knocked unconscious by a pan. He took a hockey stick to the head from the father, who was well built, and then the little kid hits him over the head with a frying pan, and he's unconscious. It's just, I mean, we're literally nitpicking. I'm literally nitpicking here.
Well, you're not really.
Yeah, I remember that.
My issue with the film overall is that it just feels like 3 films in one, and I wanted it more cohesive.
But did he have to kill the baby? Like, that's where I feel like the movie kind of like just pushed it to the boundaries. I think they just wanted to go the extreme route again, because the baby's not going to do anything. I think that was just put in there.
You think the baby died?
Well, no, the baby didn't die, but he's standing over it for the threat in that one scene.
What was that?
In the baby monitor, and then on the second scene, he throws it into a fucking dryer.
Yeah, but why was it was it a dryer or a washing machine?
I think it was
a
washing machine or dryer, but I'm just saying, why?
Why the kitchen? Why was it in the kitchen?
Oh, no. Hey, I've seen enough American movies where I've always questioned that deal. They've got a country kitchen, and all of a sudden the washer and dryer in the corner over there. I've always questioned that, going, is that an American thing? So maybe it's a European thing that they've got the washer and dryer in the kitchen area. All the appliances. Well, there's water, there's plumbing, and whatever.
I know. Never seen it. That's what like the dishwasher should be. It looks like it would be the dishwasher, and it would have worked if it was a dishwasher. You know what I mean? The same thing. You could put a baby in a dishwasher easily. You know what I mean?
It seemed weird, but I guess they just wanted it in there for the timing of being able to do everything that happens within that scene for the battle. But then it takes it one step further so that you have the ultimate showdown back at the backwoods. Is that what's called?
There's a little issue with not the fact that because the police officer does follow Victor, so he does know where he's going because they investigated it earlier in the film, so he would be able to find it again and eventually find the open hatch. But it's like they show up 2 seconds later, so he went back to the house, picked up the mother and the other cop, and then went back. It's like the editing was a little weird.
Yeah, I went on with it. I wasn't too concerned there. There is that absolute jaw-dropping, no pun intended, gore effect.
It seemed it looked a little fake to me. Well, obviously it is fake, but yeah, it looked a little.
I liked it.
There was good kills in the finale. I liked it. It looked fine. I didn't have any issue with that. That was.
I liked it, and I feel like I'm being cryptic because I really want to get to the last part of the movie. But I feel like there's no way I can.
We will in just a minute.
I will.
We'll wrap it up. We'll do it. We'll wrap it up. We'll do spoilers.
I love the look.
After
The look of Clarence makes complete sense given the opening dialogue being heard over the TV, the sexual deformities, the mutations. I mean, I buy the look. He looks otherworldly, and you know what? It's fine. And the fact that he acts the way he does, the fact that he tries to kill a baby, the fact that he even some scenes
he hides the baby. I don't think he's trying to even kill the baby. I think he's just trying to hide it for some reason at the time.
Maybe that's even it. He just doesn't know because he's still a kid. And the way he fights, he kind of like he kind of punches and
slaps a couple times.
With ridiculous strength.
He plays around with the stepfather, with the thing like that. That scene I thought was cringeworthy.
Oh, that was good. It was
great. That gore was great. I thought the CGI at the beginning and the CGI with the jaw drop was a little.
Oh, that happens in Inside. Inside goes a little batshit crazy at the end too, where you're kind of like
zombie cop.
Yeah,
zombie
a
cop.
little too much. Like, come on. But it's.
How about the Sackhead? You guys see the Sackhead in the beginning? The fucking Jason 2 Sackhead tribute?
No.
You didn't see the trick-or-treaters in the beginning? One of them had a fucking Sackhead?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I got rid of the trick-or-treaters. Good.
I know. Yeah. I noticed that right away. And this is the thing. The way it began, I thought it might have been the strongest open of the year. I love the way the movie began, and it felt like something from the people of Inside. Then it cuts, and we go to the kid. And did you guys think that Victor, who's, for all intents and purposes, he's kind of like the lead kid. Did you guys think that Victor was like Clarence and it was like years later at first? And that it was going to be his story? Yeah.
I thought that's what they're trying to do. Yeah.
And it went to a whole different thing. It went from that amazing beginning. This movie's kind of one of a kind because it starts off that way. Then it goes into that stuff and it's amazing dialogue. It's stuff we haven't heard in a while. A little bit like Stranger Things, but not even more like Stranger Things because it's more the kid was calling the other kid a fairy and stuff like that. You wouldn't see that in most things nowadays. Maybe because it's from France, but they were ball busting the way kids in the 80s would do it.
Oh, it was great. It was great. It was like these you could tell they were best friends and
yeah, man.
I'll mention it when we get the spoilers, but there's a particular scene at the end that it looks weird and it looks almost like what the hell is this? But I kind of like it. It's sort of really nice.
I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah. I also like your mom's hot. Tell me when she's getting a divorce because I'm interested.
Yeah. At least my father doesn't beat me. He says back.
Yeah, it was great. Yes, great stuff. Did you guys think that guy was gonna kill them in the barn when he came out with them?
He went full Jason on them.
Yeah, but then the kid has the axe, and you're like, and they never really go into that because he's trying to talk about bringing a gun to threaten the teacher with a gun at school to shut her up. And then all of a sudden he's about to like hit him with that axe, and his buddy says stop, and then they kind of say, "Would you have done anything?" And they do
get
but
back
it's cool.
to that, really. With his segment, exactly. With his segment, he's
Oh yeah.
That was great. The atmosphere of the kid with glasses, the Sealy kid, was terrific. I thought the acting and performance of the boy in the of Thomas in that segment was awesome. And then when it gets to Victor's story, I felt like Victor could have been featured more. I felt like it was more of the mom and the stepdad, but I wanted Victor more.
True. How about the stepdad and the cast? Fucking that scene later on.
Good.
Oh, dude, there's some good quality scenes in this movie.
There is.
Weird. It's a very unusual film.
It is.
It really is. It just goes back and forth.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yes, there are issues with it, but I was thoroughly entertained. I actually enjoyed it more a second time because I was looking at the things that kind of bothered me. I was like, you know what? I could buy that. I can suspend disbelief. I mean, it's a movie. You know, I don't want to tear it apart.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Some little nitpicks, and of course, what the heck happens at the end, which I think I got a total different interpretation than what you guys did.
It's funny because you said it was so straightforward, and I thought the ending was super straightforward. But
no, I'm confused. We got to get into it. Let's give our head ratings. Let's say our goodbyes. Let's go into it, and then after the credits, after the end, the quick ending song we have, we're gonna put the spoilers there today. Cool. So let's give our. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, it's a half head explosion for me.
Yeah, I'm right there. Half head explosion.
Make it 3 half head explosions.
There you go. So basically a recommend, you know.
Oh yeah, definite recommend.
It's on Shudder exclusively, I think. Right?
Exclusively on Shudder right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not without its issues, but like you said, there's a lot of entertainment value in this, and good performances. Again, relatable characters.
Absolutely. All right, let's get out. You guys have anything you want to say before we bolt? If you want to promote anything or anything like that, be cool.
No, guys. Again, thanks to everybody for the Patreon. Yes. And again, feel free if you have money, you want to give it to us. We'll take it. No, all joking aside, we appreciate everything, and if you can't, don't feel obligated to, but we do appreciate it. And if at the very least, give us a review on iTunes, a rating and a review.
Yes. Thank you. Please do. Yes. And if you want to email us, explodingheadshorrorpodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to give us a call on the voicemail, it's 702-625-2224. So, again, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to join the Facebook group.
One more thing.
Go ahead, homie.
Cinema Attack Podcast, episode 1 coming soon. We do have a Facebook group page I failed to mention earlier. Check out Cinema Attack. Join the group page. Join our group page if you're not already a member of that. Join 22 Shots group page. Join every group page.
Yeah, join them. And check me out. If you didn't listen to the last Kill the Cast, it's going to be out by the time you hear this. You have to go back because if you give a shit about Dave Z at all, there's a lot of crazy shit going on there. There's things I talk about on that show that I've never talked about on any show. Personal things, crazy things.
Wow, yeah, Jerry's good at that, man, huh?
And it was 100% on, because I wanted to follow up the way JP did, to be 100% honest with all the questions. I said, okay, I'll continue with that. And we get a moment about the relationship between Jerry and Kenneth that's never been shared. And it's good stuff. A good long show, revealing, entertaining.
Are they fucking?
So check it out. I'm not telling you.
I figured as much.
I figured they were fucking.
That's a jizz beard, isn't it?
You know? It's good stuff. So, guys, please promote us. Like I said earlier, subscribe. Tell your friends. Get us out there. Help us to beat the Blitz. We want to be number one. We want to continue to be number one. Give us some downloads. Spread the word. And help us out. Get on the Patreon if you so desire. We appreciate everyone listening. So we love you all. And we'll see you on episode 43. All we can say is that we know we're going to be reviewing Pieces of Talent for a Patreon pick. So we're going to do that and probably a new movie. That's what we're thinking now. But we'll be out of here. You guys got anything else?
No, but just remember, spoilers for Among the Living coming right up after the theme music, which is kicking in right now.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Right.
Spoilers. Check it out. Now you say it's easy, Brandon. No,
I didn't say it was easy. It was pretty straightforward. I'm a little confused. I want to hear what you guys say.
No, I think it's straightforward too. But then you guys said, that the baby was in the basement. Here's what I thought. Opening scene. I didn't realize it was only 2 years later. Opening scene. Boom. The movie happens. Clarence is fucking dead. Dad's dead. Brother's on the fucking bench.
Dad's not dead. Dad walks out of there. That was one issue I had. One issue I had with it was that Victor never shot the father. He just backed up and
yes. I apologize. Yeah, he's going to, but he doesn't. And
that's
he backs
Dad
up.
on the bench. That's Dad on the bench because you could see the scar matches up from the beginning.
That's what I thought.
Okay, I thought it was brother. I thought it was the brother that we never saw older, and that's why the tattoo was on the back of the head.
No, he just shaved his head. Okay, he shaved his head, and he's eyeing the woman with the baby because he's all about family. He's looking to start a new family.
Okay, then if it's Dad on bench, then I just thought it was brother, but that's fine. That makes total sense, and I just screwed it up and. That's perfect.
No, at the first time I watched it, I was actually like, who is this? And then I saw the scar on the side of the neck, and I'm like, that's the father.
Why go through all that?
Looks like the father.
Why go all through that hassle of taking the baby out, only to have it in a fucking jar at the house? So I thought maybe they saved it, but I thought that would have been too fucking almost like difficult. No hospital, nothing. She stabbed herself, and I think the baby's dead. So it does make sense that it was in the jar, and that was Dad at the end.
Yeah, I definitely saw the baby in the jar because, the first time I watched it, I didn't notice that her stomach was so open. And the second time I watched it, I'm like, they took the baby out.
Well, and that's why I thought they took the baby out, and that would be him at the end. But you're right. The dad gets away, and he's eyeing it. So, that gets away.
And then he gives the same monologue again.
Which is what I thought was great.
It's
I
great,
love the way it ended.
And then he throws in among the living.
Yeah,
it's like the last line, and it's great. It's great, and it made sense. Like because I'm thinking, like, he's such a prick. He sent Clarence to kill them. Why didn't he kill him? And again, it's like Victor's a kid. He doesn't want to. It's over. He killed the immediate threat, which was Clarence, and he just he's traumatized at this point, and he just wants to be done with this. And the father just sort of backs up and disappears because. I guess he feels like there's no more threats. And the scene
fuck. I took it so differently. I took it was the brother, and that's why you're saying we, because instead of Clarence, it was a brother, and that's how I viewed it, but it doesn't make any sense because if it's only 2 years later, that kid, even though it would have been
a mutant.
And not that tall. It would have been like the height of what Clarence would have been in the beginning of the movie.
That tall.
Yeah, there you go. Go fuck yourself.
Listen, I don't understand still. I haven't really. So does the father have some? Is the father a mutant or does he have powers? Is that what's going on here?
Talk about hereditary mutations and mental instability.
Is he from this world or is he not?
He's from this world, but
he's a human being?
He's a human being, but he's a descendant. They talk about the heritage and how these mutations pass down. So he definitely has something wrong with him, but I don't think he's of the level of Clarence. I think the mutation grows and grows, obviously, as more breeding happens. That's why Beatrice is like, that's her real name at the beginning, tries to kill everyone because she just wants to end this bloodline at this point.
Yeah, why are they living in squalor that way? If you have power, I just don't.
I don't know if it's necessarily power so much as he has.
He's powerful. You saw what he's capable of.
I mean, he's got powers to an extent. Evidently he could sniff out people, and he's got superhuman strength. But again, it wouldn't be something where like he could dominate the world or use it to his advantage. I mean, he's 6 years old and he's like 7 feet tall.
Why keep breeding then, just to hide and to live like a bum? That doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's a valid question, but the guy's all about family. He's like he loves Clarence, and he was gonna love his new baby too. That's why he took it. He's like, that's our son.
And it ended up in a jar, and that was it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not.
Why even have him take the baby?
That's what I'm going with.
She killed it. She stuck herself in the stomach and killed the baby. She's like, it's like, how do you do that? Take it. It's his child.
Would you take your child? Fucking, would you take it out of a fucking?
No, that's why I thought it lived, and I thought that was the brother at the end. But I'm wrong, and now I
wouldn't have minded if they did it like that, but.
It was
And
for
that's why I'm
nothing,
saying
though.
we.
Why show that little shot?
We at the end. Why is he saying we when everybody's dead? Then it's just him.
But he's
Right.
mental. He's sick.
But I get it. I think Brandon, you're absolutely right. I like my idea better, but I think you're right.
I do. I actually really like your idea. I kind of wish it was. Maybe I'll go back and watch it again.
Why is he shaving his head now and taking on that persona now, where earlier on in the film and through the whole duration of the film, he was a regular guy, right, with hair and everything. Now all of a sudden he's wearing Clarence's clothes.
That's why I think it's the brother.
And looking like Clarence.
No,
It's
here's the
fucking
thing.
weird.
Here's the thing. It's the father, but he sort of became one with Clarence after Clarence died. The same way the scene I was talking about with Victor when he's visiting the grave of his friends, has the glasses on and takes in a puff of the inhaler, like he's become one with his friends. It's almost about family and like connecting and becoming almost like one. I think there's something
catch that. Wow,
something like
glasses?
deeper, and he was wearing Daniel's glasses.
He was wearing Daniel's glasses and took the puffer. It's right there.
What is this, fucking Nightmare 4? Holy fuck. Okay. An inhaler, fucking taking on the personas? What is this?
Or the beautiful scene that you were saying was a little weird, was it the fact that the two friends' gravestones were beside each other?
Yeah, that obviously.
But for a filmatic standpoint, it looked great. But yeah,
and the one kid was Jewish because that Jewish star on his grave, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Had to be Jewish. That Seeley kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You could tell. That would totally be you if they were fucking.
Actually,
you know what? It's funny.
Moment.
I was gonna take a picture of the three of them together. It totally reminded me of fucking Moods, Jeremy, and fucking JP. Those three. And Jeremy is definitely the fucking little one with the glasses. I was thinking it as I was watching the film. I was going to take a snapshot at one point.
I'd like to say I wouldn't be the little one with the glasses, but I feel like I might be the little one with the glasses.
Only in this case, you would have to be by default, I think. Just by default. You don't really resemble him. But I don't resemble him. Christian doesn't.
Can I be Mila? Just so I could play with my own titty?
What about that shit, though, dude? Remember that when they showed it? We were joking about it earlier. We didn't talk about it when we got into it. And they showed
Clarence's junk?
It looked like he had an Audi, like a big Audi clit, right? Isn't that what it looked like?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Sexual deformities. He almost has like no genitals. He's almost like a eunuch.
It's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. So okay.
That's why Brandon rewatched it so many times.
My dad watched it with me the second time. He's like, "Why does the DVD start acting funny at this one scene where you see his genitals?" Like the old VHS, it's worn out in that one spot.
Oh, wait a minute. Has your dad seen The Hitcher?
He has seen it. My dad loves The Hitcher.
Fuck. Okay, see, it doesn't count. It's got to be an adult watching it for the first time. Okay, all right, forget it. I thought we'd have another test on it. So anyway, to sum it up, this guy has a mutant baby and probably has another mutant baby on the way. And then the wife can't take it. She kills herself, kills the baby. Dude takes off. They flee. He takes his baby with him. The baby grows at some alarming rate and is strong and everything else. And the baby ends up just being put in a fucking jar, and we never have to hear about it again. And that's that. And then at the end, Clarence, the surviving baby, is killed, and the guy's by himself, and he decides he's going to shave his head and put on his son's clothes, and he's going to go off and find a new family. That's what you get out of the film?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's a family film.
It is about families.
No,
it is.
You're right.
And I know Brandon is correct because but I just think the idea of having the brother at the end would have been a better way to end it. But he's right. He's right. It just the dad going through that transition. I think again, it's funny that you bring the Hitcher up because we talked about how he kind of transforms. His arc is he becomes a man at the end type thing. It's all about this interaction between them, and I think the dad transitions into his son Clarence, and the boy transitions into like a combination of his three friends.
Yeah. Did you find the scene at the grave with at the stepfather's grave with the fireworks cheesy?
He called for it. He said both fireworks at my grave.
And the mom calls it out, so I didn't think it was. I thought they did it well.
True.
She's like, she said something like, "Oh well, here we go," and then she fires it off, and I thought, okay, great.
I kind of almost would have liked it if I don't know if the movie had been more of that. It felt very disjointed.
It did. You're
also
right.
could have been
I don't
gorier.
want to say disjointed.
It could have been.
Is that-
It could have been gory, but it felt like I was watching like almost like 5 different shorts.
Well, when
I
you
don't
have
know.
a movie that slices off the face, the lower jaw of a character
stuff.
at the end,
Yeah.
and the opening that it has, it is a little weird that
Right.
the stalking sequences are fairly goreless. Like the kid, the
it's
Jewish
kids.
kid gets, and you're right. It's because it's kids.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason why they don't they kill the kids, but you don't see it. You just see the light come on and the kids turn, and you know it's impending doom. And you find out. I'll tell you what, I didn't know they were dead till the end. I didn't officially know the kids were dead. Till the end,
no, I
the
thought
way
they were
it leaves
taken at
off.
first. I thought they were taken.
Right. We don't know till you see the graves. So I mean, at least they killed kids.
Especially
I'm
given the scene with Thomas, I thought his father beating him was a fucking brutal scene. I mean, I love the scene he's holding the gun to his head. I'm like, just fucking pull the trigger, and then then he beats him senseless. And then when he's staring at Clarence, that look in his eye, I'm like, wow, this is deep. Something's gonna happen. But but it didn't ultimately go that way.
But it was cool. And
it was
good. And the soundtrack was cool. It had those creepy strings that I like. Those fucking, string soundtrack.
I enjoyed the film. I'm we all, talked about Half-Head Explosion. We're probably going to be in the same range in terms of number grades. So.
All right. Well, my number is 7 out of 10.
Okay. I'll go second. I'm 7.5.
And I'm the same. I was 7.5 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really, it was really enjoyable. It's funny that I think it's because, to be totally honest, I had to watch this. I watched this last night because I'm like, here we go. I started it 2 weeks ago, and I watched the opening scene, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta watch this closer to when we're gonna record.
Yeah.
So then I rewatched it last night, and then I tried to watch it fast today, but I like just the beginning part again, and I stopped. So I kind of watched it 1.5 times, as I was saying to Brandon earlier, but. I do want to watch it again, and I think that's the reason why. If I see that baby in there and whatever, it's got to be the dad at the end, but it just didn't look like him, and I don't know what the semblance of having the tattoo at the back was, because he would have had to get that.
What was
Yeah,
it?
It was a cross, I thought, wasn't it? But he would have had to get that done after he shaved his head.
Or he could have had it from years ago.
True, I guess true enough. He could have had it from years ago.
The whole idea is he was a soldier. He's the one who evidently where it all started from.
Is that like a jarhead tattoo?
Something.
Maybe it's a jarhead style tattoo or something like that. I mean,
yeah. My guess is he was military, and he was probably a descendant of or the person who was experimented on. One of them.
See, I knew that meant something, but I couldn't tell what. When they were watching the news in the beginning, they were talking about those things. The first time I was like, okay, that might be for a reason. The second time I was like, this has to be for a reason that they're showing with, because it's subtitled. You hear every word they're saying.
Yeah, and I was pausing, writing down
means
stuff,
something.
going back, pausing down stuff.
I couldn't figure it out though. And I was like, I know you can tie that into almost any horror movie. I think that, or it's something that's not a human 100% being involved. You know what the thing reminded me of? The Evil Within. And Christian, I know you didn't see it. Brandon, you saw it. Remember?
Yeah.
Michael Berryman played that role. That's what it looked like when it was old. That's what it kept reminding me of.
Yeah, very like albino, like a giant, like a giant powder.
Yeah. And I'm not knocking. Like I said, we gave it a decent grade. Yeah, nice. You guys think that this is the year 2017 is the year of the overhype?
Well, was this film overhyped?
I think a lot of films are overhyped.
Does this film technically count as 2017? Because I've heard people reviewing this for the last couple of years.
Well, no, but officially got it released in 2017 here. 2014 is the year of its production and release, but 2017 is the official release year.
Yeah. Think about all the hyped movies that have come around this year that we've heard things about, and how many of them, for me.
For this, I was gonna say for this one, I generally heard mixed reviews, and most people have said of the first 3 features from these guys that this was their least favorite because they had issues with some of the things that we pointed out and talked about. But
I've heard nothing except it's Inside people. That's all I because of it being from the people that did Inside, and it being this like hidden gem, so to speak. Not hidden gem, but we couldn't get our hands on it for a couple years. It was kind of hyped up, and everything this year has kind of been hyped up. And Get Out really didn't have the hype until it dropped, so I'm not even counting Get Out. The only movie that was really hyped that 100% delivered, and not even for everybody, but for us, I would say, is Devil's Candy. And I would say the same thing for me for Raw, but you guys were kind of let down a little bit by Raw. But
yeah, I was definitely let down by the hype of Raw, and I thought the hype of Get Out is warranted.
Yes, but Get Out wasn't hyped, I don't think, until it dropped.
Exactly.
I mean, we knew about it, and we knew it was Peele.
They were talking about. They're like, oh, this movie coming from Jordan Peele,
But there was no like buzz, like independent movie buzz and like festival circuit buzz for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Jason Lloyd's fault because he's been talking about Devil's Candy for like 15 years.
but
he was
right though. It paid off.
He was spot on.
But a lot of movies this year, doesn't it seem that way? Like a lot of things are overhyped. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's just I don't know.
Well, I feel like you of all of us
I'm coming in
have been coming in really high on a lot of films. I'm excited to check out. I have a list. I mean, I got to get back to 2017 watches now that 86 is over and get back to slashers.
Slashers in 2017 all the way.
Yeah.
Right. Well, anyway.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm going to check this out again. It's a good movie. It might even be great. Who knows? Maybe it will pop up on a list at the end of the year. As of right now, it's a 7.5 out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
7.5 for me. I'm just glad it counts as a 2017. I could add one to the list.
Right. Attaboy. Yeah, it's the only one since last show. I looked at my list. I'm doing triple R's. I'm like, this is really the only 2017 movie I've watched since the fucking last time we recorded. It's been over 3 weeks. I'm like, holy shit. It was 86, and then as soon as that ended, slashers. And that's it's weird. Oh, check it out, guys. Let me just say this one thing before we go. Ever since I started watching the 86 movies and the slashers, I haven't had a desire to watch modern movies. I almost watched one the other day, and I watched like 5 minutes of it. I said, you know what? I don't feel like watching a 2017 movie. And I went back and I watched an old slasher. Because I've been watching so many, I'm reliving it, and I'm like, man, the 80s were the fucking best.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's weird. And I've been gung-ho about 2017 the whole time.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm pulling back. I'm like, I know it's going to come back. I know I'm going to
get yeah, we'll get back into it. But I did the same thing. I went back. I was like, I'm going to watch the Chrome Skull films again. I watched House on Sorority Row after hearing Christian talk about it. And again, I wasn't as high on that as I thought I was.
Yeah, I was high too, and I thought I was disappointed the last time.
I gave it, I think, a 7 this time. I think you came in a little lower. I think you were like a 6 or 6.5.
6.5. Or I think it was 6 or 6.5.
I gave it a 7, but to me, House on Sorority Row, I just assumed I was going to save it for closer to showtime for episode 50 because I'm saying to myself in my head, oh, this was like a 9.5 out of 10. This is like a great slash. I'm like, well, it's entertaining.
Didn't you find the ending a little rushed and weird, and they don't really explain it? Like,
what? This is how it ended? I was kind of pissed. I was like, they were going for the Black Christmas ending, but it pisses me off in this and not in Black Christmas.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait for that show because I think we're going to be. I have no idea what to expect out of you guys, and probably no idea.
I have no idea what to expect out of you guys. I have no idea what to expect out of myself. I'm so confused with what I'm loving and what I'm not.
I don't think my top 10 is going to be too surprising, but
no, not the top. But
no, I think we'll all see similar films.
Top 20 are going to be similar in a way.
Maybe the order will be a little bit different because I don't know how I'm going to do it if I'm necessarily going to put my highest rated film at number 1 because my highest rated film isn't necessarily my favorite slasher. But I recognize that there are certain slashers that are near perfect, but there's some slashers I like watching more.
Yeah. But it's your list, man.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, exactly. And that's why it's going to be almost like how we did the 86 show where you might see a different order.
JP confuses me and you confuse me. To me, it's so fucking simple to me that it's like me, if I was going to do a list of, top 100 albums, look at it this way. I respect somebody like Celine Dion, but I would never put one of her albums on the top 100. I don't care if technically she's great and it's not my kind of music. It's not my kind of thing. So I can't put fucking Celine Dion on my top 100 just because critics around the world fucking rave about her. To me, she's fine, but it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. So I do the same thing with movies. Just because somebody says a movie is fucking well made or it's respected doesn't mean that it has to go on your list just because you think that technically critics around the world fucking put it
Oh
high.
no.
That's my confusion with you guys.
No, with me, it's making the list because I still enjoy it. To me, it's maybe a little overhyped.
Yeah, but like The Exorcist, you're not a huge fan of The Exorcist.
I'm not a huge fan.
So why would you put it in your top 5? It would make no sense to me.
It wouldn't be in my top 5, but I still give The Exorcist an 8, 8.5. I just don't think it's a 10 out of 10. Like
okay, so it would be in your 20s somewhere. So
yeah,
that's what makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not. JP sometimes comes off at like, well, I personally think the movie's a 5 out of 10, just an average film that I don't enjoy, but I see it as a technically well-made 9 out of 10 film. I can't do that.
I don't get that. Like fucking Beethoven might have put out something amazing, but I'm not gonna put fucking Beethoven's 5th in my fucking top 10 favorite albums.
I like the first 4 Beethoven films. I like the first 4 Beethoven films. Beethoven's 5th wasn't bad. The Saint Bernard was great in that one.
What's brown and sits on a piano?
Beethoven's Last Movement. Good night, everybody.
Boom.